Previously on AFTN.
Ottawa took down AS Blainville on the road, 1-0 in the first leg.
They were a very physical team. They kicked lumps out of Ottawa.
Yeah.
So my dream is that they get through and do the same to TFC. I'd love to see them kick lumps out of Javinko and Altidore.
Yeah.
They probably won't play against them, but it's a dream. You won't have a dream. Well, hello again, and happy Canada Day, everybody. Or at least the two people that's probably listening live, or post-Canada Day for everyone that's listening to this on the podcast. Which, let's be honest, after watching a weekend of World Cup, whatever took place at BC Place this afternoon, you're probably not wanting some live Canada Day radio action, but we're here anyway, the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio.
We're the pre-game to the fireworks that are happening later on.
Yes.
Which they were happening earlier on.
Yeah, and there'll be some explosions in the studio.
Wait, we're going to fireworks after this?
Yeah.
Okay, where are we going?
Hopefully we get done by the show.
I was going to set them off here. Yeah. If you listen to this show in the podcast, it is episode 280. We nearly did not get this show done because we were locked out of the studio. Steve managed to use his Fagin-esque lock-picking skills that he was taught as a young lad in the streets.
The streets of Edmonton?
Sorry. We know what goes on in Surrey.
No, I grew up in Vancouver.
Oh.
Wait,
I moved to Surrey only in 2002.
When did you? I thought you lived in Edmonton for a while.
No.
You just have family there?
Just have friends and family.
Okay.
Huh. This is a quality start to the show. A lot of this will probably get cut out of the podcast.
I'm sorry, Steve.
Sure.
Well, don't worry, I'm sure we'll do a podcast where we ask we get the listeners to ask personal questions of us, and we'll find out more about it.
Anyway, I'm Michael McCall.
I'm Steve Pender.
And I'm Zachary Adam Eisenhower.
We have a packed show for you this evening. Who knows what time we'll finish? I have absolutely no idea.
Hey, does anyone have to work tomorrow?
Maybe it'd be July the 4th.
I don't have to.
Let's open the phone lines.
Yeah, we should. Steve, do you have to work tomorrow?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
If we see that there's anyone listening by the time we finish, we might open the phone lines up.
Let's open them up.
We've got such a packed show.
Who cares? Who
wants
to talk about that rubbish?
Oh, the folk that's going to be phoning in.
Oh, well, let them if they want to.
No, we'll go. We'll see.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I was talking about the World Cup this morning.
Somebody's calling in, actually.
Oh, we do have somebody calling in. Let's just take it live. Let's see what happens. Okay. Hello, you are live on air on CITR Radio. Hello there. Who is on the line?
I think Steve might have.
No, I didn't hang up.
No one
It
at all.
says on air right there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, we'll leave it
Oh,
there.
that was fun.
We'll cut that out.
Put the number in. Put the number out.
No, let's get the show done.
People won't be awake to call in later.
That's the whole point.
Oh,
I think the Whitecaps locked us out of the studio, actually. It's them trying to block the phone lines as well so that no one can actually talk about this game. But we will talk about the Colorado match. We'll talk about the World Cup as well. We're going to talk about the supporters' town hall meeting on Tuesday night.
Tonight was an enthralling fixture.
Yes, it was. I enjoyed pre-game and post-game. Pre-game, I got to speak to Tony Waiters and Dale Mitchell. Really enjoyed that.
Nice.
Post-game, I got to talk to my fellow Scot, Sam Nicholson. He played for Colorado, the winners today. I was cheering him on in the press box. So come on, Sam, come on.
But they did not win the possession battle.
No. Shows you how little possession counts. Colorado came to town. It's what everyone wanted for Canada Day. An easy win for the Whitecaps.
Worst team in the West, right?
Now, Steve, you have been calling for years for the Whitecaps to have a game on Canada Day at home.
No, I haven't been calling for it. I've been questioning why it doesn't happen because they always seem to have July the 4th happening all the time in America, but they never, even though they've been playing on the weekend sometimes.
More than once
Yeah.
in the MLS era, the Whitecaps have actually played in Colorado on July the 4th and been there for their fireworks
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 times.
And
We ruined one of their July the 4th, I think.
Yeah.
We won there once.
well,
Maddox.
it's payback.
Yeah, it's payback.
It wasn't a good day since Toronto lost as well. So I just say we never do a Canada Day home fixture ever again. I'm all for that.
It will all matter about how things went in terms of sales.
Well, it looked pretty full. Wasn't a
It
sell.
wasn't a sale. 20,000 and
Yeah.
change.
Let's get talking about the game. I guess we've put it off for long enough. I'm not really sure what that was. We'll start with the lineup. There was a couple of surprises for me. I was going to talk about Christian Teixeira in part 2, so we will. But obviously he wasn't in because he got a late suspension. We had 3 players suspended from the match today. Is that a record?
Feels like it, but
Yeah.
All for
I know
red
Hasley
card
and-
offences.
I know
really,
Hasley and
but-
Kofi got suspended once together.
that was against New England.
Yeah, there were 2 suspensions coming to just
That
one
was
game.
such a memorable evening.
How many players did we get sent off in Casey?
Oh, yeah, just 2.
Yeah, it was
Just 2, yeah. There you
See,
go.
that was a good game after all. Folks not going to look back and think that was the worst disciplinary performance of the year. But there was a few surprises. Kendall Waston came straight back into the team.
Okay, before the game, how did you feel about that?
I was pleased because I thought I'd rather have him and Daniil Henry. Didn't quite work out great because he had to come off at half-time. With what the Whitecaps were saying was a groin strain, I believe it's an abductor strain. I'm just going to put that out there. I think it's an abductor strain.
They're very similar. They're not that
Yeah.
far off.
Same,
they're-
same region.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it can be misdiagnosed initially maybe, and then they found out something later.
But either way, he's going to now be missing.
For at least a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I
Which is going to affect the Whitecaps, and who knows, it may even affect a transfer for him down the line.
honestly, I was torn because
So was his abductor.
They said
I don't
strain.
think- I don't-
They have said strain.
I know, but that didn't work in the joke.
yeah,
No, I know, okay.
I was torn. In one sense, I was like, sweet, that's exciting because maybe coming off the goal, it'll be helpful. But then on the other side, I was like, this is Colorado, who is terrible. And if you can't play Daniil Henry and Aaron Mond against Colorado at home and get a result, then there are bigger issues.
Yeah, I mean, why rush him back?
Right. Rush him back. Nice.
That was no pun intended,
Nice.
but there we go.
But so I don't think, I don't think this was the original plan to begin with, for him to come back to Vancouver right this quickly.
Now, you'd think it's actually better maybe that he didn't go back to Costa Rica because they didn't get a good reception there.
No.
I've got an exclusive interview with Kendall coming up in part 3, I think it's going to be, where
Nice.
we talk about the reaction that the team got back in Costa Rica. But yeah, Kendall was back in. I thought it was a good decision because obviously you want your strongest guy. He's the captain. He will have been buzzing after Wednesday, and I'm sure he wanted to play.
But in hindsight, it doesn't feel like a good
No.
decision.
I went to training on...
In hindsight, we shouldn't have traded for Breck Shea.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We got lots to talk about that.
Another surprise for me, in some ways maybe, was Franklin coming in for Nerwinski. I think that was the right decision because the whole defence had a bit of a shocker against Philly. But I wasn't really sure that they would make that switch.
Yeah, I felt bad for Jake a little bit because Philadelphia didn't feel like his fault, kind of thing,
Yeah.
and it felt like, again, Colorado at home felt like a good remedy, to bounce back from that poor away showing. And like for me, the most memorable moment of Philadelphia away for Jake is his reaction to Reyna's ridiculous sending off, right? Like when his anger, his frustration, like that look on his face. And so, anyways, I thought that he might stay in. I wasn't like shocked by Franklin taking place, and I think Franklin was okay.
Yeah, but I mean, even with the guys that were missing, this was a lineup that should have beaten a
Oh.
team that has not had a road win all season.
A lineup
and
with
has just coming off a 9-game unbeaten
Oh.
A 9-game winless run.
Yeah, an 11 with the 3 of us in it should have beat Colorado.
I don't know. I've got a bit of a groin or abductor strain myself, actually, at the moment.
I can guarantee one if I ever play on that pitch.
Okay. Well, let's get into the first half, leading up to the goal. Couple of big saves from either goalkeeper. Rowe had a save, then Mosqueda had a great chance to take the lead.
Yeah.
Tim Howard was fantastic. All night, I actually think. I think he had a really good game. Probably the best we've seen of Tim Howard
Somebody
in a long,
tweeted that
long
out.
time.
Somebody tweeted that out.
Matt
too.
Doyle said it was the best 45 minutes he's
since
had all
he signed.
season.
No, since he signed with
Since he
Colorado.
signed
I
with
could have
him.
sworn he said that since he signed, but I could be wrong.
But I mean, he had a good night, and we've got a little bit from Tim Howard coming up later.
Alphonso Davies had a great chance after some fancy footwork by Felipe.
Yes. He also got a nice elbow as well.
Fancy Felipe.
Oh, yes. The Felipe's chance where he was brilliant, waltzing through the team and then fell
slipped,
over. Yeah.
But then he did a good roll to give Alfonso a chance to shoot.
That would have been a
was
fantastic goal if he'd then rolled out the way to set Fonzie up.
I consider that an assist then.
Howard made some saves there, but for me, that's just poor finishing. Like, when you're in that close, you need to finish.
We were back to so many balls coming into the box and going over the guys' heads, and then no one behind them to mop up that, which is what we seem to have turned around on. And Robbo had spoken to them about it and worked on it at training, and then we fell down with that. Whether that's because Franklin maybe can't get up and down as quick as Jake can, or
we had a couple of moments where Alfonso was like on the. Remember, the ball was on the left side, and Alfonso was on the right side, but he was all the way at the pitch almost at the sideline, and he wasn't cutting in and making he was just standing there waiting for the ball to get back to him instead of overflowing that side and trying to see if they can create something.
Well, I spoke to Anthony Hudson after the match, and he talked about he knew what Vancouver were going to do. They've been playing Declan Rowe, who when he was here with WFC2 was a left back, could play left wing, but primarily a left back. They've been playing him for Colorado as right centre back, and they knew that they would put Davies on him. Declan did well against Alfonso for much of that match, and I spoke to Declan after the game, which is something we'll bring you on the written side on AFTN during the week. Now, we're talking about Davies. He got a bit of an elbow, which it brought out everyone able to do their little rectangular sign in the air. Everyone loves that.
He got everything else too. He didn't just get an elbow in this game. Like, he was battered.
Yeah, it did look though that he was hitting the chest as opposed to hitting the face, so a yellow card was probably the right decision, and it was reviewed in VAR.
Yeah, and Tim Howard reviewed it too.
He after the game, we asked him about that, and he was like, "I just wanted to see what the referees see and what they do."
And the referee told him to go away, and he was like, "Ref, I'm outside the box."
Yeah. Tim Howard was very entertaining after the match, and we're going to bring you some of his audio later in the show.
I think he was more on fire off the pitch than he was on the pitch.
Yeah, probably. Then it came to the goal.
Yeah.
43rd minute.
A little bit of a mess up on the right side by Franklin.
Yeah, he was burned.
And
then a shot crashed off the bar.
Yeah.
And then Rowe pulled out one of the saves of the year from a Whitecaps keeper.
From point blank range.
Nothing seems to be going right for Brian Rowe. I actually start to feel really sorry for him because he pulled off that brilliant save, crashes off De Jong into the net, and then if you watch the video, it just focuses in on Rowe's face, and it's just written all over him. I just cannot believe this luck.
Well, he only let in one goal today, so that'll help his goals against average.
To be fair,
and he didn't let any goals to the Colorado player.
No, it's nice to see a Canadian score on Canada Day. I mean, you couldn't have written a better script.
I was talking to Marcel through the game, and I totally forgot to ask him about that. But yeah, I felt bad for him.
But yeah, that goal, it was against the run of play. Colorado did have a couple of not bad chances in the first half, but you look at the possession stats. Vancouver were all over them. The shot stats as well. 20-plus shots Vancouver had.
25 in total to 9 for Colorado. 10 on target to 3 for Colorado. This is just for the whole game. Block shots. Colorado blocked 9 of the Whitecaps shots.
So that's fantastic defending and a bit of bad luck.
You were talking about possession. Quickly, it is 71% to 28%. 71.6 to 28.4. You know how they do the 5-minute intervals on MLS site? There is not anything with Burgundy. Every 5-minute period was either a draw or a Whitecaps.
Hudson was asked after the match if he felt his team were lucky. And he was like, how come people don't say when we were on our losing run, oh, this team came and you were really unlucky. It's like we were called a bad team. And it's like the Whitecaps, he said, came there a couple of weeks ago, and Colorado had 35 shots into the box. No one said, "Oh, you were unlucky after that game." That's fair enough.
But if he doesn't think they were fortunate, then he's delusional.
Oh,
he didn't say that.
He had I know a lot of
I
people.
really like him. He is Mr. Chill. He's, I think, my new favourite MLS coach outside of Carl Robinson, of course.
Of a Picky.
I think he's gone above Picky.
Oh, wow.
Although the freaking printer,
Yeah.
it's still going to take a lot. But I think I like Hudson's chill approach. The open shirt.
Wait, what?
Open shirt.
Open collar.
All right.
Like
Obviously,
you see a
then
bit of chest hair.
they got to halftime, and then when they came to after the half, we found out some really bad news that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
Kendall's off.
Kendall was off. The second half.
You came storming into the press box and going, "What the hell happened there?"
Yeah, I was a bit baffled to see Marcel de Jong as centre back with Aaron Mond on the bench.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that Robbo thought,
We need some more attacking.
they're not going to attack anymore.
Yeah.
This game's over from an attacking thing. We can put anyone at the back and they're going to handle this. We need to get some guys that's going to
So
be
brought on
attacking.
Much, which was
Much had an excellent game,
Yeah.
actually. We'll get to the rankings in this part as well, but he's right up there for me. Second half, not a lot to talk about. You look really sleepy.
I'm really tired.
Yeah. You look like you're about to fall asleep in the chair. Wait till we get talking about Germany. That'll pep you up. Anyway, Kai Kamara hit the bar.
Yeah.
I missed that because I went for a piss. I seem to miss the best of the Whitecaps action in the half.
Kamara actually made another shot. It was off a volley
Yeah, I
too.
missed that as well.
That
Yeah.
was really
And I
before
think
that.
Felipe had a shot as well that I missed.
Yeah.
It's like back in the day when Kramer had used to go to the loo and in the south end of Swangard when we needed a goal.
Yeah,
You remember that?
Kramerhead, yeah.
I
And
think the best chance was from Much though.
Yeah, Much had a great,
83rd minute.
great chance. Howard, another great save by him.
30
He hit
plus,
it
30
so
plus
well.
yards out too.
Yeah.
That was a good shot.
Much was really good when he came off the bench, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's going to get a bit of a run as a starter.
He was
now.
playing out wide too when he came on. It wasn't even in the middle of the park, although he kind of shifted to the middle sometimes as well.
But anyway, I thought Much did well. That's some of our thoughts on the game. If you're listening to this on the podcast now, we're going to play the coach's audio.
Colorado, Colorado, beautiful place that you are. Feel the sorrow of tomorrow before you go very far.
Well, I think it's just from the position we were in, it's just important that we pick up as many points as we can, and I think we're incredibly pleased with tonight. But because of this week that's just about to start, the key for us now is just total focus on recovery, professionalism, and making sure we're ready for Wednesday.
And you get that goal right before the half, and it's 45 plus minutes of defending. What did you make of your team's defensive effort tonight?
Yeah, I think. Look, the bottom line is I think the players showed incredible character, defended for their lives. That wasn't the intention, but when you're away from home and they have some really, really attacking players, a lot of pace with Davis, Kamara, power, and they threw everything at us. And I think as the game wore on, we needed to push higher up the pitch. But look, in the end, the players were magnificent and incredibly proud of them.
And Tim Howard ended up with 10 saves, had a stellar performance. What did you think of him tonight?
Tim was magnificent. I thought the back five were magnificent. But I think collectively, I think what we've had a fantastic week. It's not been an easy period, and the players have not shied away from it. Everyone's got their head down. They've stuck together. They've worked through it, and this is not an easy place to come for anyone. And they score lots of goals. So I think the players have got their rewards for having a really, really good mentality this week, and they've stepped up, and we have to build on this.
You were getting a lot of sticks when you were on that run.
Yeah.
Turning it around with 2 wins now, was the message always to the players, like, we just need to get a couple of wins, and then this is a league that a few wins and you're moving up the table?
I think we're different from Vancouver. Vancouver are a team that have built this team over quite a few years. We've got a load of new players. There's a lot of change. We've had players that have come in late. Everything's it's just we need to settle down, and We need to pick up as many points as we can in the meantime and keep building the team. And when you go through a period like that, it's not easy. I think it's testing for everyone, the organisation, the players, the staff. But I think what's been pleasing for me is, like I said before, everyone is stuck together. There's been no people going off in different directions. There's been no finger pointing. There's been no little cliques. On the staff as well, and this is all new as well, with new people and everyone's stuck together. And I think that's the thing that we have to just keep. This is the greatest thing for me, because we can build with that.
When you're on a run like that, obviously it's your first season at the club, you've made the move from international football. Do you kind of wonder, did you do the right decision, or does that never even cross your mind?
No, not at all. I think I've walked into a club with upper management, and it's a club that wants to build and change the direction of where we're going. We've got a fantastic upper management, sporting director. Everyone's so committed to making sure this club is a consistent playoff team, and we all know exactly how we're going to get there. It's been tough because you can't just click your fingers and for it to happen. We've made so many changes, and we've got more to come. And we have to keep building. So I think I'm totally committed. I knew what I was coming into. I knew it was a rebuild. I knew that, and I'm in the right place and happy. We're dying to give our fans a team that they're proud of, and that's been the toughest part, because we've gone through this run with them, and we've put them through that run, and it's not been easy. So, but we know what we're doing, and we're on the right path, and we know we'll get there.
Well, this one's a difficult one to take based upon the performance. I thought the performance of the players was very, very good, very strong. What we need to be better at, and it's a reoccurring theme, is stop giving away bad goals, because I think they had one chance in the first half from our misunderstanding, and they scored a goal, whether it's an own goal or not, and missed chances. We've missed a number of chances today, and I sensed it would come because they hung in there in the early stages, and when you give a team a lead, as we've seen today, it's very hard to break them down, and we weren't good enough.
You got to give Howard some credit, because he did make a couple really good saves there, especially off Kai. Give him a little credit for keeping his team in that game tonight.
Yeah, listen, I think anyone who watched the game will, if they're open and honest about it, will say that the goalkeeper played very well. That's what they're paid to do. My players are paid to put the ball in the back of the net. So, I'll give him a lot of credit because he had a very good performance, but we need to be a lot better, especially in front of goal. You can't turn up 5-6 key chances like we did today again and win games of football, because it will come back to hurt you, and it did.
It's like a bit like watching a bad movie in some ways. You've seen this before.
Scary movie?
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3? Yeah, maybe. Listen, people who know me, I'm pretty open and frank. This one hurts, because I think they didn't deserve that today. And sometimes in football, you don't get what you deserve. We didn't play well. Last week, we were awful, and we got what we deserved. Today, we didn't get what we deserved. But this is football, and this is what happens. It's important you understand that. Stay positive. The crowd were excellent today. We know it's Canada Day, a special day, and I asked them to be loud, and they were brilliant. I'm disappointed that me and my group of players were unable to get them the result that they deserved, and not from performance, just from a little bit of detail.
Kendall Waston played a half in his return. Did he kind of talk his way back into the lineup, or how was that conversation?
Yeah, Kendall's a big player for us. We know that, and he had a little bit of a stiff groin at halftime. I didn't want to take any risks for him because he was holding it a little bit, and I just felt then at halftime we could make an adjustment by putting an extra attacking player on. We'd given them the one goal that they probably wanted. That's all they wanted, and something to hang on to. So we made the adjustments. Hopefully it's not too bad.
We've talked before, sometimes your team that struggles to score goals, losing a player for 3 games like Chichera, who has 6 goals. That doesn't help the cause either.
No, it's not ideal. Him and Jordi Reyna obviously both missing today. So key moments, you need difference makers. We didn't have enough difference makers today. We tried to. We created chances, but we didn't have enough guile to put the ball in the back of the net. But if we create that many chances, I know I keep saying it, hopefully it'll turn. But we've got to hold ourselves accountable. I will, my team will, because today really hurts.
feeling in the dressing room? Like, do you feel you're getting enough response from the guys? Are they angry, or what's the sense in there?
Yeah, they're disappointed. I think they're a quiet group in there at the moment. I think we've done a lot of good things this year and also a lot of things where we've not been at the races. Today I thought we were at the races. I thought we played very well. But we need to be better if we're going to try and challenge and compete this year. We need to put the ball in the back of the net and we need to do our defensive jobs. We give away too many stupid, silly goals. And again, that occurred.
He's the gaffer. You can try it on with him. He's the gaffer. Even when he's on a limb. He's the gaffer. When his back's against the wall. Has the answer to it all. He's the gaffer.
I guess we'll do a little bit of the player rankings now. We haven't had much time for folk to vote in the rankings, Steve.
Oh, but we did get quite a few, and
yeah,
I'm just going to...
Just a few thousand tonight.
It was about half of what we normally get.
That's not bad, then.
In a short notice. I think it was the gift.
Still nicely into three figures.
Is the nice gif I made of the Robin Hood from
Disney.
Okay, so...
This is a tough one today.
So we got bottom three, and again, I take out substitutions because they didn't have very much time, although some of them had quite a few time.
I would have had much right up there in my top three.
Well, we'll talk about him in a second. The bottom three, from the bottom, Breck Shea was at the bottom. Then we got Efren Juarez, and then Kendall Waston, because I guess he only played one half. So he was at the bottom there. And if you want to take Kendall Waston out there, Sean Franklin would have been next from the bottom.
That's fair.
Top five.
Kendall's in my top five for scoring at the World Cup.
Number 5, Daniel Henry. Number 4, Kai Kamara. Number 3, Marcel Diong. Number 2, Felipe. And number 1, Alphonso Davies. Number 6 was Jordan Much.
It's interesting that people didn't turn on DeYoung more for the own goal, but...
I don't think it was his fault, though.
You mean there was no sarcastic cheers the next time he tried to clear the ball, like Ali Ghazal got?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I don't
think so.
This one was just a ricochet. So. This was a ricochet where...
There's nothing he could have done about that, and there's nothing Rowe could have done about it either. I thought Felipe had a good game. Davies showed some nice flashes as well. Kamara to be fourth, though, I thought think they Kamara had a bit of a stinker
but
again.
I think they just, maybe a lot of people saw that he was getting chances. He just couldn't finish it.
The crossbar helps people's minds.
Now, I know Kamara hit 2 goals in that game against Orlando, but since he's come back from that second groin injury, he has been pretty poor.
Was it a groin injury or was it
That one was, I think.
So,
but he has been poor.
I'm going to put it up here. How many players get a passing grade? 0 to 5 got 68%. And the rest went to 6 to 10, getting a passing grade. Where do you rank the coaching staff? That actually is very in the right down the middle, or even almost. 30% said 1 to 5, 18% said 6 to 10, 27% said 11 to 14, and about 24% said in the 15th spot. And yeah, that's it. We didn't add any other questions because it was just short notice from the game to the show.
It's a bad loss for the Caps, obviously. I mean, that goes without saying. In the grand scheme of, we need points right now because we are dropping down the table. Do they bounce back? It's like, where do they go from here? If you can't beat teams like Colorado at home, this harks back to discussions that we had not that long ago, it feels. But if you can't beat teams like that at home, how on earth can we get in the playoffs?
It feels like, despite the performance, which I think the performance was actually really good,
if you can't finish, that's what it's all about.
But there was...
I mean, the only stat that matters is the final scoreline. Yeah, Colorado were outpossessed, outshot.
Right.
They got the goal.
So, but not talking about the result, talking about the performance, if we can. I think the performance was good. Like, I know they weren't able to finish, but the way they went about it, it felt like there was some creativity. There was something to hold on to in terms of how they played against a side that literally just played super tight and compact at the back, and it felt like Vancouver did open them up a bit. Now they weren't able to finish, but like it's better than some games where they haven't been able to even
make a crack in the wall. Yeah,
exactly. Where they haven't been able to do anything but maybe shoot from distance or just keep trying to cross in the box. Like,
I harken back to the LA games again.
Totally.
Yeah.
I also have to give a a big hat tip to Colorado's defending, because I think, like you talked about the blocks there, they did so well defensively.
Yeah.
But you said it was like watching Russia.
Yeah, and it basically, it was the same thing with no luck on the Whitecaps part, because they did blocks, and some of those blocks we've seen in the World Cup, you block it like that, it flips over the goalie or flops over and everything like that. It breaks really went towards Colorado.
It was a lot more like watching Sweden.
For me, the immediate overreaction was I was going to call the season after the game. I was like call it. No, there's going to be no playoffs. I'm walking that back a little bit, because, like you said, there were chances created, but will they be able to, going forward, be able to finish?
Don't get me wrong. The result is horrific.
Yeah, I think we're in a tough situation.
It's tough because it was Philadelphia, Colorado, 2 winnable games, one on the road, one at home, and they got no points from them and no goals.
This Seattle game coming up is massive, because again, if you can't beat the state that Seattle's in just now as well, they got some goals yesterday, but it's not looking good. It could be a long second half of the season. But we'll talk about a few more Whitecaps things and the town hall meeting that was had on Tuesday night after this.
Hi, I'm Alfonso Davies, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
Isn't another state that even comes near is the only place to live, and it should seem clear, cause people ain't rude, racist or sexist. People from here don't like people from Texas. College kids come, then they don't leave. Pretty soon there'll be people here as far as you can see. Population growing at a rate too extreme, and that's when I'll move and sleep under pine trees. Travel the globe, and then come home to a place that cheers for the Denver Broncos. Not everyone wants a life I chose, so I'm going back to Colorado. Not everyone wants a life I chose, so I'm going back to Colorado.
This is Colorado, we got the nicest girls and by far the best chronic and here in the world. This is Colorado, we got the nicest girls and by far the best chronic and here in the world.
I just love that song. It's by a group called Listen. It's called Colorado. But yeah, you're back listening to the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio. So I'll talk just a couple more things about that Colorado game today. Now, there was a pitch invader. BC Place security is an absolute joke. You saw what happened in the Lions game when the guy ran on the pitch and got tackled.
Someone,
now he's suing the player.
The guy today, he obviously was a Whitecap supporter, because when you saw when he came on, he had a wide open goal.
Yeah, and he kicked the ball away from net.
Just kicked the ball away from.
That was shocking, though. And it took so long before security reacted.
And the thing is, my issue is that and we've seen it in Europe a couple of places, especially I think the Netherlands. I remember seeing one there where the pitch invader came from behind the goalkeeper and attacked the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And you need security, especially around the opposing goalkeeper.
Yeah.
There is obviously a chance he could attack the home team goalkeeper. That's less likely.
Yeah.
But there are morons out there, and they will do so. Like, this guy was a good, fun-loving guy, whatever. He just wanted to screw around on the pitch, but you don't know. You can't guess on that.
That's the thing.
But I think their protocol is not to go and engage.
They're not to
them.
chase.
Yeah.
Not to chase.
Yeah. Actually, before we talk anymore, let's play what Tim Howard said, because he kind of addresses that point when I asked him about it. So here's Tim Howard.
You looked really calm and confident there. You had a moment with the fans there in the first half. Kind of what happened there?
Yeah, the fans are crap. They, they've always got something to say, and every chance I don't take anything lying down. So any chance I get to give them some stick back. When I walked off the field, they didn't have much to say. Unfortunately, they all went home. So it's nice to give it back.
When you've got a guy run on the pitch like that, though, I mean that's not good for anyone.
No, it's not. It's again, I've been around long enough to see some really bad incidents with fan violence towards players. So obviously, it's not a big issue. I don't know how things work up here in Canada, in terms of police protection and all that. But yeah, for me, security has been an issue in this league for a long time. So hopefully we can continue to crack down and get better, and these things won't happen.
Tim, VAR seems to be all the rage right now in football. You were very close to the box there with the Castillo decision. Yeah. Did you kind of have an inkling of what was going to come down there?
Well, we've had, unfortunately, VAR has gone against us way too many times this season. This referee, I think, is very, very good. And I was just saying, listen, I was close enough to it to see. You can't go inside that little dotted box, but I was outside it. So, clearly, I wanted to see what the referees see, because there's been so many that have gone against us. It's been, the VAR part's been a bit of a mystery.
In a league like this, where it just takes a couple of wins and you're moving up the table, was that the message during this run that look, we just have to string a few results together and we'll be right back up?
Yeah, well, we're not daft, and you're right. We see this as an opportunity. Even with the bad run we had been on,
we see the 1 or 2 results turns it, and so we got a draw a week and a half ago, and then 2 wins on the bounce, and so we feel like this is massive for us to, we actually enjoy the fact that there's a lot of games coming up because it just creates opportunity for us to pick up points.
Tim Howard there, he's got a very good point because, it's fun and games. The guy was drunk and just having a laugh or whatever, or assuming he's drunk, maybe he wasn't. But it's very easily possible that someone can jump on with a knife and do something stupid. You saw it in the tennis with Monica Seles years ago.
And like I said, the Dutch thing was he didn't have a weapon, but he kicked him, and then the goalie kicked him back, and then he got a red card and he got sent off. I remember that. That's the one I remember now. Yeah.
And there's a Aston Villa Birmingham derby where the keeper made a howler. I can't remember which team it was, and then all the fans ran on, were goading him and slapping in the face and stuff. And it's like
you're right. There's potential for something really terrible to happen.
Security needs to be so much better. We'll come to the town hall meeting soon, but they was talking about how they're over excessive with the pat downs and stuff when folk are getting in. Maybe they need to put a little bit more attention to what's going on in the stands.
So what you would need a heck of a lot more BC Place staff,
which of course costs
money. So I don't know if it's totally a BC Place thing, or it's what they say to whoever's using the building says, this is what we need, or this is what we want, or that's the package of security you want. I don't know how it works. I'm not trying to say it's one way or the other, but that's what you would need. You would need enough security so that if someone jumped over the
But they are slow to react, and you saw it in the Mexico-Canada game here as well.
Oh, the Mexico one was quite bad. And the CSA paid a lot for that.
Yeah. Anyway,
not good news.
Tim Howard was getting a lot of the gears from the fans today.
But he gave it back?
He gave it back. I like that.
Yeah.
I like when a player can take it and then give it back. It's when the fans then don't like when it gets given back and then they
go overboard.
It's like, hey, you've got to, if the guy's giving it back, fair play to him.
Ronnie Pascal back from Richmond Kickers back in the day. He used to get it good, but then he'd applaud, thank everyone after the game, and then get on his plane and fly back.
I
to
remember
Richmond.
in an exhibition stadium when they played that friendly against Man City, and they sang a song for the backup goalkeeper, and it was not a very good song. It's a song I don't think they use anymore.
Was it about a packet of sweets?
I think so.
And a cheeky smile?
Yeah. And then so they don't use that song. But he laughed and he clapped along and stuff like that. So they can play along, but like I said, don't jump on the field.
The one thing I'll say about
stay off the field.
The one thing I'll say about Tim Howard though is, I think this might have been his only good game against Vancouver in the league so far.
Yeah,
he's let in a lot of goals.
He has. I have to say though, speaking to him after the match, he's a fun guy to speak to.
I've heard good
probably
things.
wouldn't have won. Maybe.
Yeah.
Steve's spoken to him and he's not. But yeah, don't cross the line, which I guess brings us to Christian Teixeira's suspension.
Yeah,
we still don't know exactly what it was for.
Oh, wow.
Offensive language.
It feels pretty obvious when you compare the suspension to other suspensions.
Well, we don't know.
I think it was about the shoes.
Shoes.
Yeah, just didn't like the guy's shoes.
Oh.
Was that not what it was? I don't want to play it down, but I'm being facetious. But we don't know what it is, so we're not going to spend too much time talking about it. It was clearly bad. He hasn't said he didn't do it. He's admitted he's done it.
And he apologised.
Yep, he's apologised. The club have admitted he's done it. He's suspended for 3 games. Now,
but here's the thing. There's no way publicly they'll ever say what was said. Yeah.
But folk are going to draw conclusions, and then folk are going to try and crucify the guy as well, which is what I don't want to happen. For me, people say things. People make mistakes.
But also remember,
if you've apologised and you've learned from it and you don't do it again, I think you have to forgive and move on.
Right. So this is a different approach from the Vancouver Whitecaps, because previously people have tweeted things and then been sent away.
Yes, Lee Wynn.
Yeah.
But Martin Rennie is still adamant that's not why he was let go.
But last year...
Oh, okay.
Well, he was adamant in 2012 when I asked him.
But last year, for example, Shane Williams, who knew what he did, the public knew what he did, he stayed on...
They knew what he was accused of.
Yes. And then he stayed on till the end of the year.
Yeah, but...
And then was released.
So I wouldn't be surprised
this
to see
could
Teixeira
This could happen
on.
for Teixeira too, that move on at the
especially
end of
after
the year.
the shirt off thing. But it's not been a good couple of weeks discipline-wise. And I don't want to play down what Teixeira did because it's not right. I'm not condoning it. It's not like football violence. I'm not condoning this.
Yeah.
But I do feel He has apologised. Patrick Johnson tweeted that Teixeira was saying that he didn't know that wasn't acceptable here. So, again, we don't know.
Which makes him...
It could be something about the guy's family or something that he said.
That comment makes it sound more like we know what it is.
Yeah. But I just feel...
Oh, I'm totally against what he did.
Yeah, I know. You are. we had this discussion yesterday about
on the phone. We had a little bit of argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel if he's apologised and he's learned and he's moved on, you have to forgive the guy. Folk make mistakes in life.
Yeah.
It's how they react from it.
I don't disagree with you on that.
You can
Michael.
forgive, but if it was as bad as a 3-game suspension would warrant, I think that maybe you should move on at the end of the year.
Okay. Let's move on now. Let's talk about the town hall meeting that took place on Tuesday night. I thought it was brilliantly moderated, I've just got to say.
Yeah,
Plus, I got a plug of our Rob Friend interview in as well.
Oh, excellent. But
that was funny.
I wasn't there, so inform me. What happened there?
Yeah, I wasn't paying much attention because I was trying to work out what order we were going to do this in.
The Vancouver Southsiders put on a nice event at their home pub, which is the Blarney Stone in downtown Vancouver.
Which I loved, by the way.
Great venue.
I way prefer that to Doolan's. I thought this was a beautiful venue.
Yeah.
I was there on Monday night when we were doing some prep. Loved it.
It was my first time there as well, and I have to totally agree with you. The layout, and everything about the place.
It feels like a good old-fashioned British pub.
Yeah. And so there's a stage, which is very helpful for something like this, which they usually have a giant screen with games on, but...
and the Whitecaps front office were on a stage. I know you've wanted them on one out of town, but at least they were in one in the Blarney Stone.
I'm sorry. I don't...
You're too sleepy to get that joke.
I'm a little bit tired. So, yeah, the 4 people from the front office and Carl Robinson were on the stage. The place was filled with like a good another 15 to 20 front office staff who were there, and then a bunch of people... Predominantly Southsiders, a couple Rain City Brigade, a couple people from Curvo Collective, and people wrote out questions so that they could be.
Yeah, some were legible.
Some were legible.
I could not. Seriously, I could not read your writing. That is shocking.
I'm a doctor, Michael. I have the writing of a doctor.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you just played one on the radio.
Yeah.
You can confirm, is it an abductor or a groin for Kendall?
Well, you kind of played one too, because you've ended people's career on hamstrings.
Yes.
You ended Sam Adeku.
Oh, I'm the fifth metatarsal, remember?
You called that. You did call that. Yeah.
But no, seriously.
Yeah.
So people wrote out their questions and submitted them just so that it wasn't a huge check and balance thing. It was more so that they were known that they were respectful and to accumulate questions of the same subject.
And the problem was we got so many questions, and it started late. I thought it was running 7 to 9 and didn't start to 7:30. So I thought we were going to go on to 9:30, but then it had to get wound up at 9.
Yeah.
By which time I had a big stack of questions that I still hadn't asked because I had them in a kind of order that I was wanting to go through. So unfortunately, some weren't asked.
Yeah. So before we get to the questions, first off, there's a couple of things. Some I know, some I just have a feel for, and some I don't know the reasons or whatever. But people who couldn't make it, there was some frustration expressed on social media.
I understand that because it seemed that it's just a select group of people were allowed to go.
Right. So,
but you have to start these things somewhere.
Right.
And I feel they work in a small, intimate venue better than having like 2,000 people there.
Right. Now, they have had these things not in that setting, in the stadium itself, where they ask
season
questions.
ticket holders
Have had that.
And that's a small, intimate group of them.
That was a couple
as well.
years ago, too, right? Yeah, and they could have several hundred at a time. So this was... things were agreed upon ahead of time for the intimacy, for the
no videoing,
and recording or whatever of any kind was requested from both sides or whatever, agreed to by both sides, whatever. That was fine. The people who couldn't be there were frustrated and probably aggravated a little bit because there was a tweet earlier in the night from the South Side who said, "Follow this hashtag for updates."
And then it wasn't updated.
But so no one was updating that because it wasn't like
everybody was listening.
Yeah, there wasn't breaks. It wasn't like stops. It was like people were trying to follow along.
I have to give a big shout out to Aaron, the Southside's president. She did a fantastic job organising it and going around the floor as well.
We needed a Jason DeVos or Cara Lang to tweet out what was going on.
We should have got you there, Steve, doing it. We'll do that next time.
It would have been nice if someone was doing that.
Yeah.
But... So I know people who weren't there were frustrated. Hopefully they've read your summary. Hopefully they listened to the show and our discussion.
It's had a really good read rate. It's been one of the biggest things on the site for a while.
Yeah. So hopefully they read that and they can understand. And like you said, there will probably be things like this in the future, whether it's at BC
Yeah.
Place or other kind of things. And this is something that supporters, especially friends in the Southsiders, have asked for a long time.
And it's happened in the past
But-
too, right?
No, but not a support. No, this was like
This is the first
by
time they've
supporters
asked-
on
No,
supporters turf.
No, I'm talking about like, didn't it happen back in the USL days quite a bit?
Well,
or no?
Tater met with us in the pub a couple of times.
Yeah,
Well,
but that was
there
Tater.
there wasn't a major formal. Okay,
No.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is the first time that the Southsiders had asked for it in this format.
Yeah.
They've asked for other kind of things, and I think it worked really well.
I think it sounded
And
like it worked
I
well.
think the front office were quite open. My big regret from it was I wasn't able to kind of challenge what they said and follow up
Yes.
as much as I would have liked to.
Yeah.
Because we had such a whack of questions that if I'd started doing that, then it was going to be me asking them questions, which was not the idea.
Yeah.
And I do regret that because there was a couple of things I should, in
Yeah.
hindsight, have pushed them more on.
Even as someone who asked a question and did some follow up, I wish I had done more. And
Yeah.
we'll probably come up as we go through stuff.
So it was split. We won't go into everything. You can visit AFTN to read all this stuff. But there's some things that I do want to talk about. On the playing side, one of the things which was revealed, and again maybe stretching it a bit, that the Whitecaps used to be in the top third of the spenders. Now they're in the middle third. They're 16th. So they're right the last team in that
They're
middle
either at the
third.
bottom of the middle third or
Yeah.
the top of the third.
Yeah,
third.
depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah, but I think that isn't that more because there's a lot of big spenders coming in
Yeah.
initially, you know?
LAFC and Atlanta were mentioned
Yeah.
as some of the reasons for them dropping down the table, and it was also mentioned that spending pattern is not going to be what the Whitecaps are going to do, which should not, it angered folk, but it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone.
Okay, so that is not a legitimate excuse. Oh, there's new teams, they spend more money. That's
Yeah,
why
two.
we've dropped down. That's not a legitimate excuse. That can't be.
It can be for dropping down a bit, but
Yeah,
not to the level,
not to
that
the
they've
level you're
dropped.
talking
Not
about.
from 9th to 16th.
Yeah.
But they're never going to change and be a big spending club. And I think it was Jeff Mallett that said, or it's all blurring into one, but one of the front office said anyway, that spending does not guarantee success. And then it was pointed to TFC, how they're struggling this year and they've got a big budget.
Yeah, but they're
ignoring the fact that
Yeah.
they're MLS champs and they played in the Champions
Exactly.
League final.
Like that was
Seattle
that,
has
like
been in the finals the last 2
that
years.
was one of the ones
That-
I should have followed up
that
on.
comment. That comment
Yeah.
was ludicrous.
Yeah.
Like it was just like a comment without context. I felt like are you following? Do you understand what's going on here? Like what? One of the reasons for their poor form, they don't have poor form because they spent so much money. They have poor form because they spent so much money and did so well that they had to play so many extra games that they're struggling to find their league form.
And I think Colorado's shown strung a couple of wins together and you start to climb the table. Toronto, for me, will still make the playoffs. I'll be amazed if they don't.
I'll be shocked if they don't also.
It might be sixth, but they'll still make the playoffs, and then it's what you do once you're there. But again,
And that's the Whitecap. Like that's the sad thing. That is the Vancouver Whitecaps model. Just try and get in the playoffs and then roll the dice. Like that's literally all there is.
I'm not too upset by that.
But as someone who- as
the
someone who-
regular season means jack in a lot of ways.
No, but as someone who values trophies, you can't surely be like, yeah, there's one trophy you don't like.
No, you're riding your luck to do that, and the chances of it paying off is very
and you're never
slim.
competing for the supporter shield.
No.
Which I know in this context
Yeah,
is
it means nothing.
diminished.
Yeah.
But we all know
For a
that
Canadian club, it doesn't mean anything because it doesn't get you into the Champions League. At least not yet.
that's a fair point.
Yeah. If it gave you like a buy straight into the MLS Cup, then in something like that, it makes it really worthwhile. But
The Whitecaps brass seems to fail to understand that is not good enough for the supporters, for not even the supporters, the local sports scene. They seem to not be able to comprehend that the model they've chosen is not a fit for where they're playing.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Steve? Is that out of touch?
No, that's totally. I agree with you there.
Now, they talked about putting the side together and how you're not going to get big spinning names. And Robo talked about the difficulty, especially of like folk expect him to bring in UK talent, but they're all on big wages, and a lot of them he feels are earning more than they should be because they're earning more than their talent is.
Which then he said has inflated their perception of themselves.
Yes, for coming over here. and also for affordability.
Yeah.
But also, you're not going to be getting a Wayne Rooney, and he mentioned the fact that Wayne Rooney's just going to pick up tons of bookings in this league, and also, why would you want someone at that age? It's at the end of the career and all that kind of stuff.
It'll be interesting when the Whitecaps play Wayne Rooney in 2 weeks' time.
We also talked about how the Whitecaps technically, with before GAM and TAM buy-downs, would have 8 players that could have qualified for being DPs. The lightning rod, of course, is Breck Shea, because Breck Shea is a DP. The others have been bought down. And Steve, we've talked about this before, that if they had bought him down, trading him means they've lost all that money, the GAM and TAM. So that's why he hasn't been bought down.
If you use discretionary TAM, I thought you can't trade him.
Again, that's so confusing.
Which my understanding is...
That was the new one, wasn't it? Yes, that was the case.
So my understanding is the reason they have chosen not to use discretionary TAM on him is in case they can move him.
Yeah.
No, that's what I thought that was from the beginning.
Yeah,
that's what I was told from the beginning.
There's other GAM and TAM as well.
Yes.
Well, should we go back to the beginning with Breck
No,
Shea?
don't.
Let's go. You asked a question about Breck being a DP
and how his contract.
Yeah, and you tried to push, but you didn't really get the answer I think that you were looking for. Or
well, I wasn't expecting much more. Basically, Breck Shea is a DP for that reason. They don't want to use discretionary. My understanding is they don't want to use discretionary TAM to buy him down in case that they can offload him. The bigger part of that, about asking about Breck Shea, was how his contract option was taken, because last year it came out we've taken Breck Shea's contract extension. Multiple people have heard this from multiple people in different levels, that his contract was not, and we heard from Greg Anderson at the thing, his contract was not taken in the normal way. It was something in his contract that was triggered. It was
triggered with MLS mechanisms because of, I'm assuming, games played or minutes played or something like that.
But my understanding is there was never an intention to take his option. So there was some error, some miscalculation made in understanding what triggered his contract option to
maybe playoff minutes or something. Who knows?
There you go. But to me, that's not something that's on the coaching staff. That's something
definitely not
on the people who look after the contracts.
Jeff Mallett was quick to point out, though, as well, that the final decisions on players are Carl Robinson's,
except for DPs.
He didn't say that, though.
Yeah, but he also didn't say that's not true.
No.
When I said did the football committee chooses approves the DPs, because that's what I was asking about Breck Shea.
Yeah.
Who approved him as a DP?
It was also we talked about like what might happen with when Fonzie goes, like where that money's going to go from, and something which really pissed me off.
Rivero
was the fact that the $2 million or the alleged $2 million that Whitecaps have got from Rivero being sold on
has quote unquote
is gone back into the business, but not on the playing side, and that to me is frustrating. If you've made money from a transfer, maybe not all of it, because there are other expenses, but plough that money into the team.
Do we know? Does anyone know if they're not allowed to? It's like that MLS.
Well, yeah, there could be that. Again, that was something we maybe should have followed up on, and I'd love a chance to sit down for a really lengthy chat with Jeff Mallett, because Jeff came along. He's very amiable. He's very approachable. He was talking to a lot of folk before and after it as well. He said he's an owner that doesn't want to go anywhere. He's got a lot of other interests. Derby, the Giants, and San Francisco baseball and stuff.
He's not with Derby anymore, right?
I thought he still was.
No, I don't think he is.
But he said that the Whitecaps now is his main priority. And I know folk are going to say, well, why don't you put more money into it? Throwing money at it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to solve some of the other problems within the organisation.
Yeah. So one thing, just quickly about the squad, that I can't remember where it's in your article or whatever. One of the most interesting things for me was to hear them articulate, and Greg Anderson was the one who articulated this, was how they've chosen to build the squad. And so they talked about, for example, they gave examples of teams like Columbus, where what Columbus does is they put as much of their cap money into their starting 11. So their bench, their reserves, whatever, are very weak.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams like that.
But their starting 11 is really strong. So when their starting 11...
Which is great until you have injuries.
Yeah, when the starting 11 is fit and not suspended, things go really well. And then you can run into problems later.
But that's the problem I have with... If you just went out and, say, brought a Zlatan here, and he was the only big-name guy that you've brought, he's going to score some goals. what happens when he gets injured or suspended? Say he gets a season-ending injury, all your money's in that guy. You've then screwed yourselves over.
Yeah, but if he's a DP, it's only the max hit of 505.
Yeah, I'm not talking just salary. I'm just talking in general what money
Right.
they've actually put to him.
Right. So Greg Anderson said their approach has been to spread that money throughout the squad as opposed to
Which
just...
I think is correct. I know a lot of folk won't think that, but you need, and this is a league where you need a squad with so much travel and all the other things
especially
that go
for
with
Vancouver.
It. Yeah,
I don't disagree with that. The problem is they have not they've only
it's not been wisely spent.
Yeah, right. Because right now in the current reality, $1.5 million and below, someone can be a TAM player. So right now they do not have any, in my opinion, how I look at the rules, a true designated player.
No,
and that's not to say anything bad about especially Kendall Waston, Breck Shea. It sounds like they didn't want him here, and he's still here, and there's that was an issue. And they've left him a DP so they can still try and get rid of him. So that's a different kind of thing. But nothing against Kendall Waston being a DP, but they don't have any players over 1.5 on the roster right now that are feel like real DPs, right? So in the history of the MLS, there's only two players that would qualify for that, from my understanding: Pedro Morales and Aloni Colombian,
whose money has had to be spread across the rest of the squad for this year. So we're going to have to wrap this up in just a couple of minutes, but very quickly, one thing I want to say, which I asked, was about the playing next year, the 40th anniversary of the Soccer Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So it sounds like that is going to be recognised.
Hoop kit.
And I think we're going to be cock a hoop about the strip.
Yeah, they basically said it's going to be the hoop.
Without saying it.
Yeah. No. They were making gestures. Yeah.
Which we're both gesturing.
And they were like...
Well, they did, like I said, they did it without saying it, basically.
Yeah.
Last thing I just want to talk about, because I know you'll have some stuff to say, so we'll try and do this in 2 minutes. Canadian PL and Whitecaps relationship. Now, Jeff Mallett had said he's tried to reach out to the CPL. He hasn't had a positive response. He's even considering buying into a team so that he can get his foot at the table, not from a Whitecaps perspective, but a personal perspective, because he genuinely wants to help grow the league and Canadian players and know what's going on and what kind of relationship that MLS teams can have, and that would get him to the table. I don't have an issue with that. I have a feeling you might.
Yeah, and the CPL would. I've heard from people in the CPL that there's no way that will ever happen.
Well, that's small-minded, and everyone should be working together.
That's where the political stuff comes into.
No, that's where you have the Whitecaps have the Whitecaps have said.
You say your
the Whitecaps have said the CPL hasn't told us anything. Okay, so a person has to say, why hasn't the CPL told them anything? It's because the CPL doesn't want them to know stuff because they know the Whitecaps have acted against people in different ways in the past to block them, okay? And so that's when someone's not telling you something, there's a reason for it, right? So that's why the CPL is not telling you something. The reason they wouldn't want a Whitecaps owner to own one of their clubs or be one of their owners is because that guy his primary objective is to make the Whitecaps better. It's not to make CPL Victoria or whatever better. He even said, we don't have a voice in this, so I'll buy a voice into this. So when I talked to the CPL people, they were like, there's no way that'll happen because of X, Y, and Z.
Say he bought into a club, would they block it then?
Yeah, you would have to be approved, and I'm pretty sure they would block it.
So if he said, okay, I'm able to get a BC team playing in 2020 out of Swangard, I'm going to be one of the owners, no one else has come up with a stadium that works or money, they would say, no, we'd rather wait.
My guess is they would say you have to divulge yourself of your Whitecaps holdings before you can be a part of this.
I just think that's wrong. Last thing on this,
But again, Michael, I'm okay if you say that's wrong. However, can you understand the perspective
I understand where they're coming from, but everyone needs to put these things behind them and work together.
But when you have Bill Manning and TFC MLS saying, "Oh, we'd love to be a part of the CPL. We'd love to have TFC 3 in the CPL." Can you understand how that does not work to the greater good of the CPL? How that's demeaning and lowers the perception of the CPL?
Yeah, which is going to be low anyway in the initial years. And
right. So why would you do something that lowers that?
Teams then, do you want Whitecaps players? Say Davy Norman isn't playing in the first team. Oh, we can get him to play in Victoria. for 3 months or whatever. Just using Davy as an example. Would you not want that? It's developing Davy, which is helping the Whitecaps. You're getting a better quality of player in the CPL. And from the Canadian national team point of view, he's getting competitive minutes.
I've never said I'm against players from MLS clubs being loaned to CPL, but as long as it's what's best for the CPL.
I think we'll leave it on that. I think we all want the CPL to do well, and that is exactly what Bobby said as well. But we'll be back with some World Cup chat, and you'll be looking forward to this one, Zach, after this.
Hey, I'm Brett Levis, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
Well done, Squirrels. You've earned your football badge.
Yay! Dougie High!
That was fun, wasn't it, Dougie?
Interesting choice from music there.
Yeah, a rare insight into Whitecaps training. That was a tactical chat that the coaching staff had. And for me, that is how the Whitecaps should now be. Just go out there and kicky, kick. I want to see that song catch on. I want to hear it sung at TSS Rovers games.
Well, they had 25 kicks today, but nothing went in.
That was by Hey Dougie, CBeebies children's TV show from the UK. That's their World Cup song that they brought out.
This year?
It's actually longer than that, but I thought that might be all that you guys could handle. For this year, yeah.
Oh, this year. Oh, so it's another current song?
Yes, it's another current song.
Wow.
We've got a couple of wavelengths this episode and a special song for Zach.
Oh.
But it's time to talk World Cup. And what a week of action.
It's been crazy.
Very enjoyable.
The weekend.
Weekend in particular. Well, today in bits.
No, the results were nuts.
But to me, this feels like the best World Cup for a long time.
Somebody tweeted out it was the best World Cup of that he's watched ever.
I was Gideon, but he's only 8.
No, there was somebody else. Was it Chris?
I saw Gideon tonight going to the stadium with two older women. I'm assuming one was his mom, one was his older sister, but
are you sure?
I don't know. I just hope they're not people from the
Cougars.
I hope they're not from the renderings that Joe was talking about last week.
Yeah, he seems to have naked pictures in his house. That shocked me.
Yeah,
Joe's wanted to get into Gideon's bedroom for a while, so I mean it was a dream come true for him. So. If you haven't heard that was on the preview show.
Oh, right here, yeah. He tweeted it us on June 30th. This is the finest World Cup of my lifetime.
Who? Chris?
Yeah.
Chris Corrigan?
Yes.
And he's old.
He's 50.
Anyway, do you feel it's the best World Cup for a while? For me, it's probably the best one since 2006.
Well, nothing will be better than 2006.
Yeah. What's your 3 favourite World Cup then, quickly? For me, 1982... because that's the first one I was really fully into. 1990, because I loved the opening game with Cameroon winning and nearly knocking out England. And then 1986, that whole Mexico World Cup was just fantastic for me.
54, 74, 90,
in
20,
your life,
2014.
Not when Germany's won.
It has to be 2014 probably.
You'll say 2006.
2006, because I was there. It was in Germany. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, I missed off 94 and I was there.
Yeah, in my lifetime. Well, 86 Canada was there, so that's pretty big. And then Germany, the demolishing of Brazil in the semifinals.
I say 94 because I was there. I was in America, not actually anywhere in World Cup games. We crossed the border to do some shopping.
94 is the first one I ever really watched.
And then I would say I like 2002. Was it 2002?
Like so much.
No, wait.
That was partly because the timing of the games for
which is the one
that?
UK. Which is the the years are
that
overlapping.
Was Korea,
which
Japan.
is no. Okay, then it was the Cameroon. Cameroon. When the dancing guy,
Roger Mila. That's 1990.
Yeah,
1990.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one. That one really was the first one. 86. I have vague memories of sitting with my grandfather, my my grandfather, and my dad. We were all watching it, and but 90 was the first time where I was watching it on my own.
Yeah, 86 I didn't watch. If it's ones I watched, then I'd say 94, 2006, and 2014.
We won't break down the games because you all know what they are or specific results, but we do want to talk about some of the main talking points just from the last week, especially from the group games.
Yeah.
A record 9 own goals and 25 penalties already.
Leading scorer.
From the group stage, which is incredible. And they went all down to VAR, so I mean, I thought that was a little bit weird.
VAR is the second leading scorer.
Yeah, VAR. 335 incidents were checked during the group stage. That's about 7 a game.
Yeah.
14 on-field reversals by the refs.
No, on-field reviews.
Reviews, sorry.
I didn't know how much reversals were.
Three reviews made by VAR, and the refs called 95% of the incidents correct without VAR, but that increased to 99.3 by using VAR. So still not 100%.
I think the missing ones that they're probably counting are the ones the tackles. Like the Harry Kane couple tackles that he got tackled, and then the Serbian guy that got tackled by the two Swiss guys.
No one outside that island thought those were penalties.
The Serbian
I thought it
was
a penalty.
That Serbian
That's two
guy,
guys tackling the Serbian
Swiss,
guy.
That was. I haven't spoke to my complex manager Dino yet. I just know he's just going to go about that incident.
And you, 100% the Harry Kane ones were tackles too, and those were.
I was okay
joking,
with that,
Steve.
I know you are.
Michael, you must have been thrilled those weren't called.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised you're joking.
When I was on holiday and Tunisia scored, that was the best part of my vacation. Then it was ruined by the end. That was my worst part of the vacation. There have been those controversies, obviously, but I liked VAR more before this World Cup. It's been effective. I love this split screen.
But it's not VAR's fault.
No.
Okay.
The players have spoiled it for me.
Yes, with their TV symbols.
Yeah, they're constantly
which MLS players don't do. I've noted
they'll play start now.
They didn't do it today.
No, it's constantly making the gesture for VAR, which was meant to be a booking.
Yes.
And if coaches asked for it, they were meant to get sent to the stand. They need to clamp down on this. Today was a prime example. When Spain thought they should have had a penalty in extra time, they flooded round the referee and they're right in his face doing the rectangle. To be fair, I think that was a penalty, and I do think when VAR reviewed it, they were like, Vladimir here, you not call that as a penalty.
Yeah, Putin wasn't in the stands. I think he was in the VAR.
He was in the VAR box.
Yeah, in the VAR box.
I agree with Joe Deasy in the preview podcast that I much prefer the World Cup flavor of VAR to the MLS.
Yeah, the players are ruining it.
But and then the other one today was the Modric where Modric took the penalty. I can't remember who got taken down in the box.
Rebic.
And Schmeichel. It was a clear penalty. You could see Schmeichel looking at the defender taking him down, which I think should have been a red card, first of all.
He played the ball.
He played the ball.
New rules.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I didn't know that either.
Schmeichel was immediately going, look at the box, even though it was a clear penalty.
And they didn't, though, right?
But the thing is, they check every time there's something like that to make. So you don't even need
Schmeichel's
to tell
been a bit of a wanker this World Cup.
Yeah.
But if he was one of your players, you'd think, he's the kind of wanker I want.
I was not sad to see Denmark go out.
I was in a win-win. I had both Denmark and Croatia as my draft picks.
Yeah, there you
go. We'll come to the draft.
So, but let's talk about a team that did crash and burn.
Egypt?
No,
not Egypt.
Although they were disappointed.
Yeah. Yep, it's time to say Auf Wiedersehen, Pet, to...
What's the Pet? I didn't get that.
It's a TV show in the UK.
Oh.
I was going to play the music from it instead of Kicky, Kicky, Kick, Kick, but I think that nothing beats that. That could be her song of the year. Germany's exit. Biggest crash and burn since the Hindenburg.
Oh, man.
And like the last time Germany went out at that first round stage was 1938. And we saw what bad losers they were after that. I'm getting my bunker ready. That's all I'm saying.
You're stocking up on canned goods?
Do you know you can't buy a 1938 replica Germany World Cup kit? Did you know that? I was looking for one. That's a treat for you. Then I found out why.
Swastikas on it?
Yes, that was their badge.
Oh, man. Yes, well, that was the ruling party, I believe, of the day. Anyways.
Yeah, so should we sit down for an hour while you go on about the oath? Please don't go on about the oath for an hour.
Listen. First off, everyone, it's been really humorous and really fun to see everyone react in the world because this is
Folks said we were being really harsh on you.
Oh, no, it's fine. Because
Good, I've got more.
Because I think you kind of have the similar feelings. Like you're not like you mentioned in your tweet afterwards that you congratulated the three teams because they were better.
Well, that was a little
Still stocking up on nylons and canned good stuff.
But the thing is, you were upset more with the way the Germans approached this one.
But aside from that, like I found a lot of the stuff quite humorous, like that everyone was saying. This is the reality. Everybody hates the best. And
no, everyone hates the Germans.
No, everyone hates the best. And Germany are the best team in the world. Or they have been for the last 4 years. They've been the World Cup holders. And so everyone...
They won the Confederation Cup.
And they won the Confederation Cup, sure, whatever. So everyone has been looking forward to their downfall. And on top of that, they are Germany, as you said, Michael.
I don't think you can mention downfall in Germany in the same sentence.
So for me, it was kind of funny because I have people like who don't even really follow super much who are like, sending stuff or saying. I had people this morning. We had it's Canada Day, so we had an early service because there's a Canada Day parade outside where our church building's at in Abbotsford. I had a group of Dutch friends come up to me and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Whatever. And I just said to them, I said it's better to have loved and lost than to never loved at all.
That's Canada and Scotland,
which they found it humorous.
But it is
Dutch
part
people.
of that defending champion curse.
Yes.
It's happened way too often.
That's World Cups in a row.
Yeah,
now.
And 4 or 5.
But
wait to Russia win it this year.
The frustration was it was this. It was the squad selection because Germany dominated their games. But they could, in terms of chances and all that, but they could not finish, right? They needed more different kind of options. They should not have left out Leroy
100%
from former Gelsenkirchen Schalke player who's at Man City. They needed, he would have brought far superior pace to their team than what they had, which would have been a game changer. They should not have had the oaf in the team. Okay, if you wanted or needed a big striker, there were other options.
Explain who the oaf is.
The oaf is Mario Gomez, who
Zach hates.
Who's wrecked teams, national and club teams, since before 2008. He had a couple great years at Schalke, his hometown club, when he was younger, and he's just a big dude who sometimes the ball bounces off of and goes in the goal. But if you wanted a big striker, you had Sandro Wagner, who grew up at Bayern and is now back at Bayern, and you had Niels Petersen, who's at Freiburg, who has led the second Bundesliga in scoring in the past, and who is the all-time leader of goals off the bench in the Bundesliga. He just broke that record this year. He has over 20 goals as a substitute in the Bundesliga, who both are larger, bigger type strikers, not exactly the same as the Oaf, but big enough. There were other options. And Yogi Löw has said, I should not have used the Oaf in the past the way I have and whatever. And it was just I don't understand why he went down where they went down this road.
I think whoever wins this World Cup should fire their coach immediately, bring in a new coach, and force a lot of players into retirement, especially the older ones.
Yeah. Here's my question for you, Zach.
Yeah.
In modern World Cups,
yeah,
is this the most embarrassing thing for a German World Cup squad?
In the World Cup, I don't know. Losing to Bulgaria in the quarters is really bad. 94. Losing to Croatia in the quarters, 98 was not
Funny
great.
you should mention 94.
You got a song from
Want to play something for you now. Tell me what you think of this.
Yeah.
And you'll find out if you stay, you'll be making friends in America today. Okay. Far away in America, we're gonna make it, find a chance to take it, play. In America, we're gonna make it, get it up and shake it.
Yeah, we'll just keep that abomination playing in the background. That was the German 1994 official World Cup song, with the German squad and village people of all things.
They missed disco a little bit, but
yeah,
just by a couple.
Can you explain
No.
that? Have you ever heard that before?
I wonder if Mario Basler's in there or not.
Jurgen Klinsmann is, and he looks very confused.
Mario Basler was in the squad, but had to be replaced after the Canada friendly at Varsity Stadium.
Oh.
After he chose to go into a tackle with a hard tackling central midfielder from Canada, who you may know well.
Oh, is his initials DM? I just guessed that. There we go.
But it was Basler's fault for the way he went in. But.
Now, when we did our preview show for the Extra podcast, you said you would take Germany not winning if Costa Rica won the World Cup instead. But
Kendall scored. So
yeah, Kendall
later
playing,
that day, Kendall scored. Yeah,
Kendall playing and scoring. Did that make it up a little bit for you?
That day it helped, definitely. The frustration of Kendall not starting those first 2 games.
Unbelievable.
It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
I don't know whether it's just our Whitecaps bias, but I mean, other folk were saying, Costa Rican folk were saying, why is our best defender... Why has he not seen a minute yet? And we've lost.
The guy who played
instead of Robbo was on the radio saying he didn't want to. He wasn't going to blame the coach or whoever, the Costa Rica coach, because obviously if he still remains, which I don't think he will, they want to still have a relationship, so he doesn't want to throw him under the bus. But you could tell that why would you the guy put you into the World Cup? I can totally understand if you don't want to play him against Brazil because Brazil's a different type of team, and maybe you wanted more a dynamic and player that could hold the ball. But who was the first team he played? Serbia. Why would you play him against Serbia?
I don't get that at all. And I was delighted. The best thing for Kendall, as sad as it is to say, is Costa Rica losing those 2 games. Because he may not have played that third game if they were still in with a chance.
100%.
Then he shows his skill with that beautiful goal. Even picked up a booking. He had the full gamut of things that you could have put a bet on.
Did you see when he scored? He went to go take off his shirt and then held off.
And then it's like, bicho. But
no, so I talked to him. I talked to Priscilla about it.
Priscilla got some airtime too.
Well, Priscilla, I told her. I was just like, on the TSN broadcast that
the international broadcast it would be
or whatever. I just said they're like the goal happened. They showed you, then they came back, showed you again, and the commentator said she must be one big Kendall Waston
because she was holding.
Her phone had a
Waston and 19 on the back.
I was so pleased to see Priscilla in that. She's such a sweet girl.
So I talked to them today, and they were obviously heartbroken. I talked to her a little bit more than Kendall about not the first 2 games.
I wish I'd seen her today.
They were just heartbroken, but obviously incredibly thankful for the opportunity they had, and then for the how Kendall performed and.
Yeah, well, and he got a new last name, Weston.
Yeah, Weston. It's not even any. How did you get Weston? Anyway,
hey, I missed it. Oh, is it? What happened to the Costa Rican squad when they got home?
Oh, they got harassed at the airport. Yeah. One of the players, it might even have been the manager actually, had to get let out a back door.
It was the manager.
Police. It was the manager. Had to get let out the back door by the police. It was a very hostile reaction, and they were there with their families. It was very over the top. But I speak to Kendall a little bit about
the hostile people were there with their families, or the
maybe
players.
Both. But I got a chance to speak to Kendall. He flew into Vancouver on Friday. He was at Whitecaps training Saturday. Got a chance to do his first interview after returning from the World Cup. And we'll play that for you now. It was a bit rushed because he had obviously other things to do and the football was coming on, the Uruguay game. But here's a quick chat I had with Kendall from Saturday. So Kendall, obviously we didn't hope to see you back here so soon, but I know it maybe didn't end the way that you would have hoped with Costa Rica going through, but how did you find your whole World Cup experience?
Well, in a collective way, disappointing obviously because we didn't qualify to the next round. And in the personal side, I'm happy because I could get a chance to play. It was a dream that I wanted, and obviously to score is another one. So in that side, I'm happy.
The last match obviously didn't mean anything apart from pride for the team. But when did you find out you were going to actually play in that?
Well, they always set the team 2 or 3 days before the game. So until that moment, I knew I was going to play, and yeah.
And like the joy in your face when you got the goal, and then seeing Priscilla in the crowd as well, it must be such a special moment for you. It's something you've worked your whole life to get to this.
Correct, because I was looking for it. We was losing 1-0, so that was like the chance that I was thinking that can give us the draw. And when I scored, it was a lot of happiness. In my head was only thinking of my wife because she always support me in the toughest moments in my career. So I was really, really happy for like to get that goal and obviously getting that joy for my family.
The whole campaign for Costa Rica, I guess the Serbia game was really where it was all hinging. What do you think just went wrong with the campaign? Was it just the teams were just slightly better than you, or did you just maybe not click on the days?
Well, Serbia, what made the difference was the free kick. After than that, I think both things was like safe in the first game because no one was trying to give nothing, but they defined everything from the free kick.
And did you fly straight into Vancouver, or did you go back to Costa Rica with the rest of the team? Because I saw some of the guys got a bit of a hard time at the airport. Did you expect that there was going to be such a hostile environment back home?
Yes, but home is always like that. When you lose, it's always like that. That is normal. And I fly straight back to Vancouver because I couldn't have the chance because I fly from St. Petersburg Friday, so I arrived yesterday midday.
And does it feel weird being back in this environment, having been with all these players for all this time?
Well, to be honest, as soon the last game finished, I was prepared and getting excited to come back home because I love to be in the club with the guys, hanging around and obviously practicing and just waiting for the game of tomorrow.
Did you get a chance to do much sightseeing there? Did you get to experience Russia away from the World Cup?
Not so much. We only have like a few hours off before 3 days before the last game, and we just hang out with the families, go to eat and back to the hotel.
And apart from the goal, what is it you're going to be telling your kids and your grandkids in years to come about this experience?
Well, it's a wonderful experience. I see my son, he likes to play soccer, so who knows if in some years he's going to be a professional or what, but I can tell them my experience and it's wonderful.
I'm glad you got the goal. Sorry to see you back so soon, but congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vamos Costa Rica, la jugada del gol y estalló la alegría. Vamos Costa Rica, vamos a celebrar la pasión de mi vida.
Vamos, papi.
Yeah, that was another modern song. That was a Costa Rican unofficial 2018 World Cup song. I think from Percanis, Mega Gigantes or something it is. But we'll put up whatever the proper name of it. As I said, a very rushed chat with Kendall there. I thought he would talk a little bit more after the game today, but obviously that did not work out. Makeup of round of 16. There's 10 UEFA countries in. Get in there, UEFA.
How many of them have been eliminated now so far?
Six? 4 or 6?
4
6.
CONMEBOL. I'll have trouble saying that. 1 CONCACAF and 1 Asian. Disappointingly. I did not like that Japan game.
Oh, at the end
yeah,
there?
we'll come to that. Actually, let's come to that night.
You mean the drawing of lots?
No, they went through on fair play.
Fair play.
I just did. Partly because I really wanted Senegal to go through, and I just thought they were robbed.
As a country that
it would have helped our team too.
Well, as a country that has advanced through a tournament based on the drawing of lots and then won that tournament here in Canada in the Gold Cup.
Gold Cup 2000.
I think fair play is
fair play.
More than a fair way to go through.
I don't like it because games are not an even game. Someone could get booked for, like Kendall did not mean to bump into the referee when he got booked. That was an accident that he bumped into the ref. That could have cost them going through.
Yeah.
An accident, something like that. I don't like it.
And the thing is, I remember on the post-game show they reviewed all the Senegal yellow cards that happened in the tournament, and a lot of them were chintzy fouls.
Yeah.
That really, I don't know if but it could have been. We don't know if it could have been accumulation of fouls, and then they got the yellow card for that one. So I don't know that for sure because Senegal, they're a team that runs hard and everything, and so they do foul quite a bit and everything.
Yeah.
Like that.
So every team does play every team, but you're right. The referees are different.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah, someone could get Mark Geiger, for example. He's got Colombia, England. If England get Geigered and knocked out, I am going to change my opinion on him.
Show.
I am going to love him. We'll come to England.
The Geiger reader?
Yeah. African football, though, I mean, no side from the continent in the knockout stage. First time that's happened since 1982.
The disgrace of Gijon.
I don't know what that means.
That was called the Disgrace of
Oh,
Dijon,
okay.
the Austria-Germany game.
Oh,
from '82.
yes.
Hee-haw.
Yeah, they should have had one
Hee-haw.
through,
I don't know.
obviously.
I'm not good.
I thought it was Dijon because Dijon mustard.
No.
Because,
Dijon.
yeah. Yeah, there we go. More German shame for you, Zach. Playing out that boring draw with Austria.
Oh, and now we have a great system where everyone plays at the same time.
Who got eliminated? Germany? No,
Algeria.
Egypt.
Okay,
Algeria.
you didn't like that game. What about, who was it this World Cup who did that?
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
Who did that? Someone did that.
Denmark and France.
Oh,
and
was that one of
Japan
them?
and Poland. When Japan just last 10 minutes had no interest in doing anything.
Denmark and France, it wasn't even.
They were both through though.
They were both through, but no one really.
There was another one.
Nobody wanted to get hurt.
No.
Maybe it was the Japan. No, it wasn't Japan.
Japan-Poland was like that.
It was more Denmark too. France was trying to break them down, but they were just playing 10 guys behind the line.
But like African football, it's easy to say, oh, what's happened to it? It's like they've gone kind of backwards. They had 3 wins and 2 draws from the 15 matches from their 5 representatives. You could say it's bad luck or there was a bad draw with good teams. But then you look at some of the games and Senegal got beat by fair play.
Yeah.
Morocco played really well in a difficult group with Spain and Portugal.
Yeah.
And that Morocco game was beautiful.
Yeah, the Morocco-Iran games, how they finished.
Yeah, that was the killer right off the bat.
Iran should have gone through. Should have got that goal. That guy should not have missed it.
And then we got Nigeria who would have got through if not for a late winner by
4
Argentina.
4 minutes.
So the thing about the African teams in this tournament, what I would say, Michael, is for Nigeria and for Senegal, for both of them,
Nigeria's young.
Both of them, their pace caused incredible problems, especially for the European sides. You saw how the hard-working collective unit of Iceland could just not cope with Nigeria's pace.
Yeah.
They work as hard as they want, but they could not catch a few of the Nigerians on a few of the plays, and that was the difference. Senegal against Poland, a similar thing. Their pace, showed some of the pores at the back in Poland's team, and so that was one of their greatest advantages, and they didn't quite get to use it enough.
Another reason Senegal didn't get through, that save by the Japan goalkeeper that was right on the line, that just didn't cross over by inches, and they used the goal technology, and you could see that it was just on the line. He pulled it back. So, it was just. I think it was bad luck. Egypt really disappointed. They should have got through on their group.
They had a group they could easily have gone in, but Russia were playing out their skin.
Yeah,
Mo Salah should have started from the beginning. Yeah,
let's blame Sergio Ramos on that too.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about the round of 16 that's underway in the next part. But just to round this part off, I've got a bonus wavelength. We're doing 2 wavelengths this show. Because
I thought we already did one with the German song.
No, that's not wave. That does not merit a wavelength.
This is a short one too.
This is just a minute. I saw one of my favourite bands.
Belle and Sebastian.
Yes, Belle and Sebastian.
I've seen them.
Really?
Yeah. I saw a whole bunch of you guys all Instagramming. Yeah. Whatever. I wish I had gone to one of the shows.
Thursday
Naz
night.
was at both. Were you at both?
I know. I was tempted to, but Thursday night was so perfect. I didn't want to then spoil it.
Naz and Minna went to both. They
got to the encore and it's like, well,
you got your song.
What do you want us to do for the last song? And I'm yelling, "Dog on wheels, dog on wheels!" And he's taking all these other folk, and I thought he was just ignoring me. And then he played Dog on Wheels, and I nearly cried.
I saw them at the Orpheum with like a 12-piece orchestra 10 years ago or something.
Mm. This is a song they've done anyway called I Don't Want to Play Football. And I thought it's a nice way to end this segment.
I don't want to play football. I don't understand the rules of the game. I don't want to play football. I don't understand the thrill of running, catching, throwing, taking orders from a moron, grabbing for the sweaty crotches, getting hit by people I don't know. Sugar, I'd rather play a different sort of game. Sugar, the girls are just as good as boys are playing.
Hi, my name's Simon Coline, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
Welcome back. You're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio.
We need more wavelengths like that last one.
Sure.
But the only problem is I don't think it actually technically qualifies for wavelength because I'm pretty sure they were talking about pigskin.
I was hoping no one would pick up on that. I just
that
wanted to play a
whole
Bell and Sebastian
grabbing
song.
at crotches or something or other. That.
Oh, what about Diego Rodriguez and Vinnie Jones? I think it covers both.
Oh, Michael.
We do have another Bell and Sebastian song I will play down the road that it mentions football in one verse. So to me, when I run out of other ones, that will qualify, yeah.
Are we done World Cup talk?
No, we've got another part of World Cup.
Okay, before we go on World Cup talk, I apologize. Follower on Twitter, Kunarad, sent in some, I think, Belgian / Dutch Belgian delights.
I've heard about Dutch delights.
For I don't know what that
from
means.
Amsterdam.
I don't know what that means. For us to eat. Obviously not directly in the studio
because we're not allowed.
Because you're not allowed. But I will bring them next week.
I will look forward to it.
Yeah, there's a little note for you guys.
Wasted Days keeps promising me chocolate digestive nibbles. He ate 2 packs and 2 melted. He said.
Wasted Sundays.
Wasted Sundays.
Oh yeah, Adam.
I've just got him wasted every day now.
I saw him today. He might have been a little boys. I'm not sure. I can't. Maybe.
Anyway. We'll kick off this section of the World Cup, I think, with a look at the AFTN draft standings.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
Why? I said this to you last week, Steve. I didn't know this was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, sorry. I didn't know this was a public thing.
I didn't.
I just thought I do is public.
Just a few of us friends.
I didn't know
teams.
you wouldn't know. No. Everything's in public now.
Everything I do is in public. You should see my sex tapes.
Yeah. Okay. If it was in public, then why wasn't the draft done in public? That was done in private
because it was going to take too long otherwise.
Because
there was a moment where
I fell asleep at one point.
Yeah, at one point you fell asleep. I think Nick got called away to work for an hour, and so I had to go pick up the kids for a bit. So we weren't able to get this.
Well, let's be honest. Yeah. It's not really of any interest to anyone else apart from the 6 of us. Yeah. I'm just mentioning it because let's go through the standings.
Well, do you want to go from bottom to top?
Definitely.
Okay, so Zach is at the bottom. He picked up 9 points. He is officially out because all his teams are eliminated.
Picking with your heart does that.
Yeah. Number 5, sorry.
Oh, and also his World War II sort of cliques.
Yeah. Number 5 was Gideon. He is also eliminated. I eliminated him on Saturday.
Gideon
good job.
Out.
28 points.
Rouse.
28 points he ended up with. In fourth place is Joe. He still has some teams. Still has 3 teams available, but Spain is out as number 1 pick. Actually, number 1 overall pick that we did.
Potato.
So
he's got 33 points.
Okay, I just want to talk about. He talked about this in the preview podcast.
Yeah. Apparently, you had a little bit of an underhand deal going on with him. That helped you.
Well, let me finish the standings first.
Okay, we'll come back to it.
I'm in 3rd place with 48 points. I still have France and Uruguay. They're going to be playing each other.
Come on, Steve.
So somebody's going to get in the semifinal at least. Nick is in 2nd place with 49 points. I'm only 1 point behind him. He has 4 teams. Russia is his big one that's gone through so far, but he still has Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico. Brazil, Mexico are going to play each other. So they're going to eliminate each other.
And I have to cheer on Colombia.
Yeah. And then in 1st place is Michael McCall.
Oh, really? Oh.
With 67 points. He is ahead by almost 18 points.
Belgium, Croatia, who else you got?
Sweden, Denmark.
Denmark is out,
and
obviously.
I had Tunisia and Saudi Arabia, which
they got your points.
That Saudi Arabia win was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I
was jumping about at that.
You got already Croatia through, and Belgium obviously is facing Japan, which is Joe's team.
Through.
And Sweden is facing Switzerland, which is also Joe's team. So you're going up against Joe twice.
I think Sweden's going to lose.
Here's a serious question. I keep reading this on Twitter that people keep getting Sweden and Switzerland confused. Is that really a thing?
Apparently, because my buddy who's Swiss says
they're
he
red
always
and yellow.
It's called Sweden. Yeah, I don't know why.
How thick are people?
What fool does that? Okay, I just want to bring some clarity. Okay, is it okay if I read this?
Yeah,
okay.
you want to bring some clarity to your cheating.
No, it's not cheating.
The Lance Armstrong of AFTN.
No. So this
the disgrace of Langley.
So this private draft for this private undertaking we had, I was going to happen. So I messaged Joe. So Joe misrepresented this on the preview part. Anyways, I messaged him and said, "What needs to be done for me to secure Germany as my pick in the AFTN draft?" Joe said, Joe had the number 1 pick. He said, "Which pick do you have?" I said, "Number 2. He said, "Interesting." I said, "Look." No one will look down on you if you symbolically take Ireland or Canada. He said, or Germany. And I said, I think you should let a German take Germany. Now, I'm not fully German, but whatever. Everyone would appreciate this and totally understand. He said, you're doing a good job appealing to my logic. And then he said, so he brought this up, not me, because he made it sound like I brought this up. He said, I'll settle for a bottle of Coke at the CPL gathering that was taking place that we were both going to. I said, not a problem. What size of bottle? 2 liter? Do they make anything larger? He said, LOL, just the regular smaller one. I'm going to go for Spain then. Wait. He said, I said, all sounds good. Later that day, he messaged me, I'll trade you a small Coke for not picking England next, which I was never going to do.
Which, as an Irish person, that's just
I know, and I was never
forget all the troubles.
I know, and I was never going to do because this was just about choosing some. I chose Blas Perez's team. I chose Kendall Waston's team. I chose Germany. I chose Robert Lewandowski's team.
It takes some going to pick 5 teams and have all of them knocked out in the first stage.
So I said, so that would make us even. Joe said yes, and we were even. And I got a whole 9 points to contribute to our side.
Yeah,
let's move on to Saturday's games.
But just to say, the Sunday show is combined. Well, Steve and me combined are beating the
it's 124 to 110 updated from today.
Even without Zach's 9 points, we're beating them.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come in crucial.
I
think they're going to be the difference.
Yeah. They might. If they are, we'll take all this back.
If he had taken Germany, you had taken Spain, we would have 8 more points.
Oh.
I would never have taken Spain, though, because I just thought this was friends choosing teams.
So, the round of 16 got underway on Saturday.
Saturday was a fantastic, fun game.
Belters of matches.
I was so happy I went to bed early on Friday and woke up ready to go for the 7 a.m. kickoff.
I was genuinely worried that they were going to be cagey affairs because we've seen it before in the round of 16. It gets pretty boring. The games go to penalties. That was today. On Saturday, it didn't look like anyone was frightened to make a mistake. They wanted to go for it, an attack, and France v Argentina.
Wow.
I mean, what was the better match for you, France, Argentina, or Spain, Portugal?
Well, now it has to be France,
Argentina.
Uruguay,
Portugal. You said Spain, Portugal.
No, he meant Spain.
No, it's the 3-3 game.
Oh, 3-3 from earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say France and Argentina because you got a winner. Winning. It was a knockout game.
I think the football was better in the France-Argentina.
Yeah. Where was that French team in the group stages, though? Because they looked terrible.
No, they didn't look terrible. They just weren't really going for it.
They looked like they were stuck in second or third
They didn't
gear.
look like world beaters, which now all of a sudden they do, although their defence not so much.
I think they just fell asleep a couple points.
Well, but Argentina has a dodgy defence.
Yeah. They had a dodgy team altogether.
Otamendi's, not good.
You've got to say, this will probably be the last time we see Messi at a World Cup.
Yeah.
I do think, though...
Ronaldo will be back?
Well, no, sticking with Messi. Qatar, 4 years' time, he's 35.
There might be some incentives, you're saying?
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a wad of money offered to him to go, we'd love to have you in Qatar.
Then I think same thing with Ronaldo then.
Yeah.
I think Ronaldo will be back.
Yeah, Ronaldo's still got years.
But I think both of them won't be...
He's got solid thighs.
The focal points of their
abs.
They won't be the focal points of their nations.
Well, that was the problem, though. They relied too much on their star player.
Yeah.
And this goes back to me what I was saying, like if the Whitecaps go and splash out lots of money on just one player, you need a team.
But the thing
can't just count on one guy to
but
be
the thing
magical.
is, I'm going to quickly say about Argentina, Pablo Dybala, from Juventus.
Yeah.
He should have been on the pitch more.
Yeah, but the coach doesn't like him apparently.
Yeah, so that's the problem. They had the talent. I personally think Argentina probably is more talented than Portugal.
And France.
And I don't know about France. Whatever about France, but I'm talking about people are talking about Ronaldo had this team in Argentina. I think there's more talented players on Argentina than
in the attack.
Yeah,
yes.
but I guess the biggest problem with Argentina is they lost Romero going into the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but hold. Let's pause for a moment. Romero's no amazing goalkeeper.
No, he's not.
No,
but he's better than the one that played against Croatia.
Yeah.
Going back to France, they've got that guy that Hansen sang about.
Mbappe.
Mbappe.
No, Mbappe.
But it's actually Mbappe. Though.
I know you're spelling the joke.
I know you want to do the joke.
Anyway, Mbappe.
Great joke, Michael.
Great joke.
I know it's wrong to compare Alphonso Davies with these world-class players, but this is how the Whitecaps should be using Fonzie, the way that France use Mbappe. They need to be getting him going through the middle.
Slicing runs through the
getting
middle.
the long ball from Iran and terrify defences, get brought down, get free kicks, get penalties.
Even if he's offside, even if he gets offside in a couple places, at least you scare the defence.
He's like reined in too much. They need to have him running at these defences.
Well,
and have
if
them
much has
scared.
reined him in, let him loose.
Let Reina loose?
No, much.
Oh.
If much has reined him
Now,
in.
Argentina got ahead.
I forgot about
2-1.
Reina.
Yeah.
But then there was a strike by a
Then
guy
they
who
just
I didn't even
annoyed
know was on the
France.
team.
Yeah. This is one of my, like, are you still keeping your track of your favourite goals? to the
Yeah,
tournament?
but I'm a little behind. But yeah,
Oh.
that was amazing.
Yeah.
he
Great
plays.
strike.
Doesn't he play for Stuttgart?
I don't know. I didn't
I'd
even
never
know
heard
he
of
was.
him
I
either,
never
no.
heard of him either.
Benjamin Pavard.
Yeah, I think he plays for Stuttgart.
When you get a view of that strike from behind him, the curl and the spin, and it's just
I thought it was a straight
beautiful.
shot, but it was actually outside
Yeah.
going in. It looked like Alain Rochat goal from against Philadelphia when it was
Yeah,
curling
he plays
in.
for Stuttgart. He used
From
to
the
play for
opposite
Lille.
side.
Like, in all seriousness, that is the kind of strike that young Canadian players should be forced to watch. That's how you hit a ball.
Yeah.
His first goal ever for France. Yeah, it was nice.
Just absolutely beautiful. I don't think it was a huge surprise, though, that Argentina went out. We've talked about
Well, they
it
barely made it
before.
through the
Yeah.
round, the group stage.
They're not as good as the Argentinas of the past.
No.
And it's a case of one star player not being able to carry a poor team.
Or is the shadow of a star player from the stands.
Yes.
Giving double birds.
I love
going
the
on
double
cocaine.
birds.
Going on
I think-
cocaine.
Now, allegedly.
Allegedly.
We do not know that he was on
But
cocaine.
I don't. It's not allegedly that. I'm pretty sure he would have got a 3-match ban.
Is that what you're saying? No.
Did you hear what he said?
No. Did you
you not
did
see
you-
what he said?
You could actually see what
you
he
could
said.
see what he
You could
said
live with-
when he was giving the double bird.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
he was saying
He
something.
used that term that has been used at BC Place by
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh.
That would have been a 3-match ban, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Now the other game, it was 2-1 Uruguay over Portugal. Another
Yeah,
top player of the
we had
world.
a discussion. I say Uruguay. He says Uruguay.
No, I do not say that. Uruguay.
Uruguay. I also say Paraguay. So we are Guays, you're Guays.
Yeah. I
Why?
guess so. I don't know.
Ask Nico; he'll sort you out.
Okay. Is he from Paraguay?
No.
But yeah, Uruguay.
I was, to use Michael's language, I was cock-a-hoop about this. Because to me, Portugal...
It's a rare time that I've wanted Uruguay to win a match.
Yeah,
but yeah, I
same.
was too.
Portugal, to me, did not deserve and had no business whatsoever winning the Euro 2 years ago.
No.
It was like they lost the Euro at home in 2004 to Greece, and they complained and moaned about it. And you have even Ronaldo talking about Iceland at that tournament where they don't play football. Well, they played some awful football to win that tournament, and it was embarrassing and it was disappointing and whatever. And they also have one of the least likable players in all of world football named Pepe, who unfortunately scored in this game. And I'm so happy to see them go home.
Cavani, that first goal where there was a quick switch
Off his face.
Quick switch first to Suarez.
Yeah.
And then he didn't admire his pass. He actually went for the net, and he was able to get it off his cheek.
Yeah.
And into the net. And then his strike, the second strike, one-time strike. Oh, that was
time.
fantastic. Hopefully he's healthy enough for the next one.
How bad? Do we know how bad?
It's a strain.
He's got like 5-6 days
it's
to
a-
recover.
a groin strain?
No, I think it was a calf or a hamstring or something.
A lot of strains.
Not a pull, a strain.
Yeah.
Or torn, not torn. But yeah, what you're saying, like Pepe, I can't stand. Nani, couldn't stand
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Ronaldo, I don't know what it is about Portugal. They just come up with all these
Ronaldo
players.
is an incredible footballer.
Yes.
But he is
Not a very likable person.
And he would have missed the next match even if they got through. He took a yellow card for complaining to the ref.
Yeah.
No, but that's how he knew he was out.
No, Cuervo totally dove on that play.
I know, but then
Should he have even been playing? Should he have been sent off the previous?
Oh yeah, for that, yeah.
I don't know how you review that and then just book him. It's either not
Yeah.
anything or it's a red card. You're not reviewing for yellow card.
Well, that referee was
offences.
just like, wait, you want me to do what? you want me to send off?
I tell you who I thought I could get. I can't remember what game it was now. The Iranian referee. I think it was one of the games yesterday. Maybe it was today.
Whatever the case.
Yeah, but he was outstanding. He was.
There's
a
been
really
some good
referee.
refereeing.
Yeah.
VAR, like I said, VAR I thought has been so good in this. I know there's some people are still complaining about it. It's mostly British, but it's been really good.
Today's game's not too much to talk about, although the first game, the result was surprising. I did not expect
It was
that.
a day of penalties and goalkeeping heroics.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah. Now, Russia, Spain, it didn't... Like, after it got to 1-1 at half-time, I said to Caitlin, this is going all the way to penalties. There's no way.
Really?
I said there's no way either team's going to try and do anything because Spain like to just knock it about.
I can't
too
believe
much.
I can't believe they started Koke over Thiago Alcantara, and I know that's my Bayern bias coming through. But Koke, I thought, aside from the penalty miss, I thought he didn't do much.
But Russia had so many guys behind the ball that I just did not see Spain breaking them down. I didn't see Russia having the bottle to go forward or push for it. So you just didn't see that happening. But the penalties, everyone's talked in the past about Lev Yashin as the best Russian goalkeeper. Now, obviously, this guy's nowhere near Lev Yashin.
But he's been around for a long time.
Yeah, he's had a lot of criticism as well in the past,
Yes.
Akinfeev, but
I thought he was fantastic in the penalties. That second one where he kept his leg out there and he actually kicked it away.
Even during the normal match as well, it's like you've made yourself a hero in your country.
Well, first off, I did not like Sergio Ramos celebrating a goal that was not his goal, which maybe he thought it bouncing off him or whatever. But
no one likes Sergio Ramos.
So
anyway.
I saw a few memes after that of his celebration with comments.
John Terry?
no, his celebration after the goal or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But there's some players I appreciate in the Spain side, but I'm not sad that they're going home either.
Croatia, Denmark.
I missed both goals. I walked away from the TV just for obviously 5 minutes. And
4 minutes.
Well, 4 minutes. But I walked away from both 5, came back, and it was like 1-1, and then I had to rewind and watch it again.
Yeah. I fell asleep at half time, and I woke up.
You didn't miss anything. I missed everything in 5 minutes. You didn't miss anything in 45.
Just before the penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Literally about 5 seconds, I woke up, look at the screen, the guy's running through. It was like absolutely perfect timing, but it does sound like I didn't miss much.
No.
Although my impression was that Denmark were really poor, but other folk were saying Croatia had no interest. And
Croatia was playing scared.
Right.
They didn't look. Denmark wasn't really doing anything. They were inviting the pressure, but Croatia wasn't doing anything with it.
After Germany went out, my call for the final has been Belgium, Croatia, which I know will make you happy.
I'll be delighted with that.
But
I'm okay with it.
This game does throw up some questions about Croatia.
Yeah, big time.
Although, unlike the last time they were in a shootout, which I think was against Turkey in the Euros.
Yes, 2008.
Was that long ago?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
it was mentioned several times.
Okay, I forget what year it was, but where they couldn't do it and get through. This time they got through. So hopefully put some wind back into their sails and they can.
Well, it didn't almost go to penalties. There was a penalty, like you said.
Yeah,
you woke
Rebic.
up at that time.
Never a penalty.
Rebic.
No, that was a
Rebic, also a Bundesliga player from Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, I mean that Schmeichel.
Good
that was
save.
a great save. He was off his line though.
Oh,
he was off the line on every penalty.
Yeah.
Both of them were off their lines.
What happened to?
Where was VAR on that?
Well, the minute he get booked, to go off the line. It's an automatic booking.
Yeah,
Schmeichel would have been
It's
sent
okay.
off.
Croatia won.
Yeah. The penalty shootout though was great entertainment.
Yeah, I think it was 3-2.
Fantastic saves.
3-2 overall.
And it went back and forth.
So each keeper made 3 penalty saves in the course of the game.
Subasic, hero and redemption for Modric, which I was quite pleased. I like Modric. Oh yeah,
he missed also.
Yeah, he was really firing them up before they took it. So I was quite pleased that he scored.
Yeah.
Going quickly back to the Russia game, you're Russian. You're on home soil. You've got a chance to get to the quarterfinals.
You're saying take your time. Don't rush it.
Is that Icarus?
What goes through your mind, like as a Russian player,
guessing,
knowing that all that?
Yeah.
I'm guessing drugs. Like having watched that Icarus film, like it's hard not to think that there's some kind of
there
state-sponsored.
were some photos going around. I can't remember which player it was, but showing a kind of like needle mark in his arm.
Yeah.
And some stats of showing that they've done the most sprints of any team and things. And
I'm not saying. I'm sorry. I'm making a joke.
Yeah,
I'm not saying.
I hope it isn't.
Allegedly.
You hope it's not. Of course.
For
Zach,
lots
just
of
say
reasons.
allegedly.
Allegedly in the UK covers you for everything.
Yeah.
But that half of the draw is garbage.
More like a steaming pile.
I am absolutely shitting myself that England are going to win this.
No, what?
Oh, at least get through the semis?
Or at least get to the final, because they have got a pretty easy run.
Come on, Colombia.
Well,
Colombia.
the only thing is...
Oh
the only thing is...
Got a cold.
The only thing is even if they get back, because James looks like he's not going to play because he came off after 30 minutes. Of
he'll play.
Game. Yeah. Okay, so whatever whether he plays or not, if they get through that, Sweden I don't know if they could break them down. Sweden plays a very tight game.
When they're in full flow, they play wonderful stuff.
Like they should have drawn Germany, obviously, and then they won their other 2 games. So you're thinking,
I was pleased that Sweden went through and not Germany. What about you, Zach?
So obviously we got.
You're gonna love the next wavelength coming up as well.
You got the 4 quarterfinals left.
Yeah.
What do you think? Brazil, Mexico.
I think Mexico are going to be so cagey and just not go for it and try and play a Whitecaps counter-attack game.
Yeah.
That has
it's whether Brazil can break them
down.
down.
This has the potential of being a boring game.
And then you got the other one on that side, which I think is Belgium, Japan.
Belgium should Japan.
Yeah, but Japan has played very, organized. But I think Belgium has enough to break them down.
Japan is the worst team that's made it through. Even worse than Russia, because Russia did play some nice stuff. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But that is it for our World Cup chat.
Yeah.
We thought, no one wants to talk about the Whitecaps losing today. Let's talk 2 sections about that. I'd hoped to bring us an interview with Dale Mitchell in this. Did not get a chance to get home and get it edited after the game today. So we'll bring you that next week. But we'll be back with more chat after this.
I'm David Edgar, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
Are we still going?
Yeah, we're still going. There's still another part. And it's wavelength time again.
What?
I know it's another short one though, but I've done this one. This one's for you. We've been talking about
Are you
German.
looking at Steve?
We've been talking about German abominations in the World Cup. We won't go back too far, obviously, about German crimes, but German disasters in the World Cup. For me, there was a moment in 1982, not the 0-0 draw with Austria. But
the clattering?
There was a match which showed Germany in their true colours.
The France game?
When Schumacher clattered poor old Patrick Battiston in the semi-finals.
If you ever want to watch it, I have the full game on DVD.
I've got the highlights. But this is a song by Halftime Oranges from the 1996 album Clive Baker Set Fire to Me. And this is simply called Battiston.
Platini. That's a splendid ball for Battiston. Oh, it's wide of the post, but Schumacher came out then like a runaway truck. And I think once he'd realised that Battiston was going to get the ball, he made sure he got Battiston.
Oh, Patrick, you could have had a hat-trick in the final. You could have been the French Japanese if I would have knocked you out first. Oh, Patrick, they would have been ecstatic if you'd scored. It would be France v Italy, and fame would be a guarantee.
Halftime Oranges there.
We should watch that match sometime. We should watch the time and do a mixler.
I've got a 1982 World Cup highlights video, VHS.
I have a DVD of that full match. We should watch it.
Oh, from 82?
I can't really see a lot of... do that as an extra podcast.
There's
Folk will be unsubscribing left, right and centre.
There's passbacks to the keeper. It's fun. It's good times. I mean, obviously not to Tony Schumacher.
No, that was terrible. I want to...
That was horrific. That was a horrific challenge for the record.
Want to just read some tweets. We've got a couple from John O'Flynn at John O'Fly.
Wait. I also just want to say that tackle happened pre-VAR.
Yes. Yeah, I think post-VAR. Yeah, that could have been a whole different thing.
That would be at least a 3-match.
I think that's why I like the 1982 World Cup, though. It's like stuff like that, and then Marco Tardelli with his celebrations and everything, and the African nations doing well, Scotland winning some games and actually being in a
Germany,
World Cup.
Austria. Yeah.
Yeah, let's forget about that. Anyway, John O'Flynn said he was the lad who called in to say hello at the start.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, he's like an amazing start.
It didn't work. It didn't work for some
I know,
reason.
we couldn't get
tried
it.
to get it.
He says, let the phone calls come so your listeners can have their say. That goal should have gone to the Irishman number 10, Joe Mason, and not an own goal by a Canadian on our Canadian team. He wanted us to know as well that he was proudly listening to us live on July 1st. Morbittle says his favourite World Cups were 1994 and 2002. 2002 purely because of a song by Vangelis, which he's put the link on YouTube for, which we can't play. Van City Villa, AFTN photographer, until he tweeted this tweet, said Belle and Sebastian equals old sad bastard music, which is from the film High Fidelity, but still.
Maybe he likes, that's a good thing for him. Maybe he likes that.
Anyway,
maybe it's a compliment.
Let's not do any more tweets in. Now it's time for BC Soccer Web headlines.
Hey! Oh, you're not too tired to dance. What do you do?
I'm twerking in your face.
Oh, please stop.
Oh yeah, you're listening to BC Soccer Web headlines. Brought to you in partnership by bcsoccerweb.com. I was just enjoying the music there. Your one-stop site for all your local, national and international news and links and lots more besides. Make it part of your daily routine. bcsoccerweb.com. What's been catching your eye on the site this week, Steve?
Wait, for the record, I'm not an expert. I don't think that was actually twerking.
I think that was just me shoving my bum in your face.
So I have actually.
Yes, Steve's got paper.
Yeah,
Look at this.
my kid.
My God, we're going up in the world now.
My iPad. I couldn't bring it because my younger one wanted to make a stop motion kind of wrestling match with his action figures. So he's actually taking pictures.
I was going to say great parenting until you said wrestling match.
Oh, I'll bring my
they've done Lego ones too, like Lego stop action.
Okay.
Yeah,
if I bring my Whitecaps Subbuteo team, can we do?
We could try something. I could see what they could do with it.
That'd be fantastic.
Okay,
more exciting than watching Whitecaps Colorado.
So speaking of Italy, although nobody was,
I mentioned Marco Tardelli.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Italy obviously is not at the World Cup, and one of their top teams in their league, or historically their top clubs, AC Milan has been banned from European football for one season. It's because of the
financial fair play.
There you go.
Yeah.
And they're calling the ruling unfair. They will be appealing. Apparently, last year they got new ownership. They went on a $200 million buying of players. But they incurred enough losses in previous seasons where it didn't add up for UEFA. UEFA is also in news for lifting a in-stadium booze ban for Champions and Europa Leagues. Essentially, they will allow supporters to take drinks into the stands instead of just drinking it in the concourse and then coming in. But it'll depend on what your local laws are. So, for example, Germany will be allowed to, and France and England still won't be. For example,
and Scotland. Don't mention.
Well,
we're in the Champions League.
I just want to give a couple examples.
I don't think he's talking about the qualifying rounds.
Ooh.
Now, I'm sure you guys heard about this. Former referee Mark Hasley admitted to booking a player who asked for a red card. Asked for a yellow card so they get the accumulation done before and get suspended before the derby, important derby happened.
To even admit that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, he's former, so he's not going to be reffing anymore.
Even so.
I remember him.
What it wasn't just he didn't. The player didn't just get the yellow card for asking for it. What the referee suggested: if you get another free kick, like there's a free kick happening, kick the ball away. I'll book you for dissent, and that's essentially what happened. The team, he said, this team is known for picking up a lot of fouls, so he knew it was going to happen in the last 5 minutes. So they could have fouled. He kicked it away.
That's a moronic player. Like. It's not hard to get a booking in football.
Yeah. Especially if you wear a Whitecaps shirt.
Or today, actually, I believe it was Colorado who picked up.
Speaking of English players, DC United has picked up Wayne Rooney. It's official.
He's Mr. Potato Head is coming to MLS.
$17 million transfer.
Yeah, can you explain the breakdown of that? Is it an article?
Oh no, I didn't read.
I think they've had a breakdown.
Yeah.
No, because originally it was supposed to be like 12 or 16, but like only 4 was from DC United.
Yeah.
But
because 17 sounds like too much.
To be fair, we have got this dream Rooney-Matix partnership that I think everyone has wanted for years.
He'll most likely make
in the kitchen.
He'll make the debut against the Whitecaps when they open the stadium.
Ogre,
and
Shrek.
Robbo obviously gave the when asked about it on the radio, he mentioned that it's a great signing for the league, which I think is what everybody's told.
It's not really what he said in the town hall.
No, everybody's told to say that, I guess, in public.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. World Cup 2018. You have £20,000 and you're looking for a place to watch the final game. The place to go is the Fairmont Hotel in Dubai.
Or come to my house.
Wait, can you fly us to the Fairmont?
Probably.
In Dubai?
Oh.
Can you pick up 20,000? So it's offered by the hotel for an overnight stay at the Imperial Suite. I'll give you a little bit of what's going on there. The room is to be decorated like a football pitch with grass flooring. There'll be a VR experience, so if you'll be able to watch it in VR.
Not a VAR.
No, VR.
Okay.
Virtual reality.
I'd like a VAR experience.
There's a 130-inch TV with a barman, private chef, and a butler dressed like a referee. Who could be the one dealing with VAR. And there's also more stuff too. There's massages. There's like stuff like you can drive a Maserati the next day, go for a drive in it or stuff like that. Like high-end stuff.
Genuine question. Could you not spend 20,000 and get an actual ticket to the match?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
So why would you want to do
in 2006 in Germany, I think the going price, I want to say, was 2,500 euros or something. It was not.
I guess it's going to depend who's in it. Like if Russia was in it, tickets are going to be scarce.
Italians aren't really known for traveling, even within Europe, that like in huge numbers. So I think that's why it was not.
Mussolini had his problems.
I was referring to their football supporters. But.
Don't mention the VAR.
So, with the elimination of teams, we talked about Costa Rica earlier. There obviously are death threats that are involved. So let's talk about some of those. Although
lighthearted.
Couple of these teams weren't even eliminated when the death threats came in.
Yeah, that's the scary stuff.
Colombia, Carlos Sanchez, he's the one that got the red card in the 3rd minute against Japan. Yes. He received death threats on social media. The police started an investigation for that.
Well, part of the problem for that is, of course, with Colombia, this is not a. Colombia has dealt with
Escobar.
Yeah, the Escobar issue where the drug lords had placed a lot of money on Colombia winning or doing really well at the World Cup, and then they didn't. So
and the own goal, he scored the own goal that eliminated him.
But officially, they've said that was not linked. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what his Wikipedia page said, because I was reading it during the week.
Right, and at the town hall, the Whitecaps said they're never trying to sell their club.
Yeah, and they're not liking charter flights.
Yeah.
Didn't get a chance to talk about that. Yeah. You were grilling them on the charter flight thing. Who makes that decision?
Another one, Argentina's goalkeeper that we talked about earlier, Willy Caballero, received threats to the family after his blunder against Croatia, where he kind of like muffed the shot, and then that was the first goal, I think.
No one deserves death threats.
No.
But that was a howl. Like that was a horrible
He was benched after that. He didn't play the Nigeria game. He didn't play against France either.
That Armani played way better. It was Armani, right? He played way better.
Now, this is the one that's really rough. The Iranian striker, he retires from the team international play at 23. Apparently, Sadr Azmoun. Oh, God.
How do you pick these stories?
Anna's going to kill me for that pronunciation. Okay, but he was a target of numerous social media attacks. It doesn't say death threats, but it says media attacks.
It was just lots of abuse online.
For failing to score in 3 games.
That's the number 17, right?
He's supposed to be. He's known as the Iranian Messi. Yeah. The thing is, the social media attacks. His mother was ill before. It kind of made a flare up. Obviously, stress causes illness to come, and obviously this was what happens. And so I'm choosing my mother. I'm not going to play internationally anymore. So good on him for making the choice.
It's such a shame because he's such a talent.
Yeah, maybe he comes back after 3 years or something like that. We'll see.
I mean, I love passionate fans, but you've got to think what you're doing, and
nobody thinks on social media.
No.
So talking about social media,
our listeners do.
Talking about social media, Messi and Ronaldo dominate World Cup social media rankings.
No way.
Mexico leads with 9 million interactions. That's among all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff. Germany's second with 6.5 million. It kind of spiked during the Toni Kroos goal against Sweden. Bottom 3 countries are Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Sweden. Ronaldo leads with 5.7, 2 million ahead of Neymar. Messi is third with 2.8 million. Let's go to some Canadian news. naming of coaches. First of all, you got Rob Gale named as the Valor FC coach and GM, and then Stephen Hart has been announced as the first coach in Halifax Wanderers.
I'd heard about weeks ago. But
it says he's leading soccer operations.
It's been like known for months.
I'm not in the know like you.
So both of the thing that's significant about both Stephen Hart and Rob Gale is their connections to those communities, like long term. Like these are not just like coaches that are being
flown in or whatever.
Yeah, just being brought in. They've done something in Canadian football, so they're being like Halifax area is where Stephen Hart has made his Canadian home, and Robin Gale has been in the Winnipeg area for longer than a decade. It might even be close to 2, and they have huge ties into the football community there. They both also obviously have contributed to the national team. Hart as the interim assistant and interim and full-time national team coach, and Rob Gale as the U20 coach amidst other roles. And so, yeah, these are both huge signings. And they, from what I understand, they have both played the understanding that they would be involved in those places have played a role in the number of memberships that have both those places have already seen.
Well, Valor FC has they're expecting crowds for up to 9,000 initially.
I saw that article.
Yeah, 1,100 deposits, and they're expecting like people to buy at least 2 per deposit. They're not putting a cap, and they're expecting, like I said, 5,000 to 9,000 per game for the first little bit. Canadian Championship, Ottawa Fury has advanced to the semifinal against TFC. They won the second leg against AS Blainville. Goal by Carl.
Is it the Ottawa Fury or Ottawa Fury?
Fury.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm need water. I'm lacking water right now.
Let's go get some water.
No time. We got to get through the show. Last news story here. We got a junior Hoylett Canadian team member re-signing with Cardiff City, newly promoted team.
3-year deal.
3-year deal, not bad. So he won't be in the CPL or MLS for the next little bit, probably.
Not coming to the Whitecaps. So that is it for this week's show. Just before we go, let everyone know where they can find you online.
You can find me on Twitter at WhitecapsBeat.
For me, it's at Zachary AM, and I'm a part of the Movement Curva Collective.
You can find me on Twitter at AFTN Canada. You can read our stuff away from the numbers, aftn.ca. So until next week, thanks for listening. Take care, and mon the Caps.
Going to your first match is an experience you never forget. The atmosphere of what's going on around the pitch looks beautiful, and you always look and go, wow, I'd love to play here one day. If you get the bug, it's going to stay with you for life.